an answer to the stupid question. What is Austin Powers' middle name? 215-263 WMMR. We go to Bob for the answer. Yo, Bob, good morning.
Yo, Gadzooks, guys. How you doing?
Gadzooks. We're doing great, Bob. So what is Austin Powers' middle name, please?
It's Danger.
Danger.
Powers.
Yeah, you got it. Hang on a second. Bob got himself a $50 Primo Hoagies gift card. Big games, big parties, and it isn't just football. It's an experience, so don't settle for an average catering tray. Make it Primo. You can order now at PrimoHoagies.com. It's not just a hoagie. It is a Primo. We'll start with the story about Emma Roberts. She's enjoying a beautiful reset.
Oh, that's awesome.
Following her breakup with actor Garrett Hedlund, and we recently covered his
drinking issues, and he's a couple of run-ins with the law.
Yeah, he was arrested for public intoxication just a couple of days ago, right after the breakup with Emma. Less than a week after that split, she shared photos on Instagram relaxing at the Hacienda Alta Garcia luxury resort located in the Talamanca Mountains in Costa Rica.
It's so good to see you, Miss Roberts.
Roberts wrote,
We heard you had a problem with your marriage.
The most beautiful reset possible in my new favorite place, the most magnificent setting.
Would you like a margarita?
The kindest people, excuse me, the most mind-blowing experiences.
Oh, man.
You're getting emotional.
Oh, my God. This
This woman who went through this is now... God, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I love people who are in love. I got something stuck in my throat.
I told myself I wouldn't cry.
I thought you were doing your Alec Baldwin impression for a second. Like, you got really low.
I thought you were bringing up part of your Rocky impersonation.
My Alec Baldwin impression. Here it is. Not very good.
No, I had something.
You just got sad.
You know, Jed, you had love.
I had love stuck in my throat.
Is that what it was?
We got love.
I didn't know.
Sounds like a Meatloaf song.
I got love stuck in my throat.
I got love stuck in my throat. He's got love. I got love stuck in my throat. He's got stuck in his throat.
Oh, my God.
Oh my.
And I've had many things stuck in my throat, but it's the first time for love.
Wow. Wow. The couple called it quits earlier this month after 3 years together. They do share a son, so it's too bad that they're going through that.
And he was just born a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad.
Yep. We all share a son, actually.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah.
The son in the sky.
the
Which will be
soul.
on shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, soul.
So,
That was very profound, Preston.
Thank you.
Wrong music.
I was going with soul music. Sorry, man.
All right, well.
I got you, bro.
Anyway.
Brew? It's a new one.
I can't call Gandalf bro.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a brew.
He's brew.
Yeah, because he's a wizard.
I appreciate that distinction.
Gandalf the brew.
He almost got it, and 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Hey!
Yes!
See what I did there?
Stuck in my throat.
This could be a fun freaking day.
Already
All right.
is.
Charlize Theron shared a rare photo of her daughter on Instagram yesterday. Stop that. The Oscar winner included an image of 7-year-old August and 10-year-old Jackson in a post. These are both her daughters. I said singular a moment ago, but dedicated to her mom, Gerda's birthday. Gerda?
They are, she was born in Africa.
South Africa.
South
Yeah.
Africa, yes,
Yes,
right.
correct, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
saw
Gerda
that.
is as common as Joe.
Oh,
Is it?
didn't know that.
No idea.
Well, I have a friend from South Africa, and his name is Hercules.
Oh,
He's
wow.
he's the only.
Is he actually the god?
He is not.
Demigod?
I don't think.
I have a
think
very
so.
good friend from South Africa. His name is Mike.
Oh, okay. So they're not all these out of the ordinary
This
names.
is Thor, and of course you know Apollo.
Yeah.
And Mike.
And
Yeah,
Mike.
Mike.
Mike over here.
Well, that's like
And this is Manny.
the former Eagles lineman Halapulivati Vaitai. His first name is Halapulivati, and I think his brother's name is Joe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gerda, by the way, has her arm wrapped around Jackson as they smile for the shot. And in the tribute, she wrote, I want to share with you all. I want to share this with all of you because anyone who knows her utterly awesome. It's how utterly awesome it is to stand in her sunlight. She is truly life, she says. So let's see. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet may have split earlier this month, but there's still nothing but love between the Game of Thrones alum and his stepdaughter, Zoe Kravitz. On Wednesday, Momoa shared his support for the Batman star, writing, "So proud, can't wait. March 4th, love you, Zozo."
So how old is
how old is he and how old is Zoe? And I wonder if he actually legitimately, like when they were married, if he went through the becoming a stepdaughter, adopting her as a stepchild.
Oh, I don't know.
Huh. I don't think so. Right?
Adopting her as his daughter, no, because it still says stepdaughter.
They're only 9 years apart. Jason is 42 and Zoe is 33.
It's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Kravitz replied with, I love you. So that's what she wrote. Nicolas Cage is a fan of the goth life. In a recent interview with the Los Angeles Times, the 58-year-old actor revealed
Can't quite explain
that he has a pet crow named Hugin.
This is Hugin.
Who lives in the geodesic dome at Cage's...
What's going on in this story?
Listen to this. It gets better.
Follow me out to the geodesic dome. I'd like to meet Hugin.
He lives in a geodesic dome at Cage's Las Vegas home, and that he picked the pet...
Yeah, I gotta get on the monorail first.
For a particular reason. He said, crows are very intelligent, and I like their appearance.
Hi, Nicolas Cage!
He said the Edgar Allan Poe aspect. I like the goth element, and I am a goth, he said. The star of the upcoming Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where Cage plays a fictionalized version of himself, added that the crow sometimes speaks to him. He says he has taken to calling me names. It's comical, at least it is to me. He said when I leave the room, he'll say bye, and then he'll say ass. So he shared that he has a 4-year-old Maine Coon cat named Merlin as well, and a second feline named Tigra.
Wow, man! In many ways, he is like a goth teenager who has the snake in the tank and the exotic pets and a geodesic dome. He has.
He's getting ready to play Dracula in the upcoming horror movie Renfield. The self-proclaimed goth will begin shooting Renfield next month and shared some of his hopes for the film in his Los Angeles
Hope it's good.
Times interview. That's what he hopes for.
Yeah.
He said, the key, I think, is movement. He said, I saw a movie called Malignant, and the director, James Wan, and the actress created this choreography that was terrifying, so I'm hoping to do something like that where Dracula can either glide or move like Sadako in Ringu.
Yes. Okay. So, Malignant, I can highly recommend it. James Wan movie. I know Nick Murphy and I were talking about it. It has one of the most bizarre. You can either go two ways on the reveal at the end, and you go, "Oh my God, this is stupid," or you can go, "Holy hell!"
Yeah.
I chose "Holy hell." It's an amazing movie.
Cage is married to Riko Shibata, the 27-year-old actress, is the Oscar fifth wife. The pair who wed on February 16th are expecting their first baby together.
Okay.
The child will be Cage's third, by the way.
His son is very goth.
Yes, very much
his
so.
eldest son.
Very much so.
Literally looks like a vampire.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. Suki Waterhouse subtly shared her ex-boyfriend, shaded her ex-boyfriend, Bradley Cooper, on TikTok Wednesday.
Uh-oh.
Using the filter that makes the user look like a bearded man, Waterhouse wrote, "Can't believe I let someone who looks like me with this filter break my heart." If anyone wasn't sure who she was referring to, the singer liked a user comment that identified her famous ex. The two were together from 2013 to 2015.
So many good and productive things are achieved through social media.
I know, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's see. How about this? John Mulaney and Olivia Munn are reportedly in it for the long haul. A source close to the actress told E! News Olivia and John have become much closer since the birth of their son.
That always helps, I think. If you're in trouble, the relationship's kind of skittish. Bring a child into it.
They are very committed to each other and raising their son together. Olivia is smitten over John and loves seeing him as a dad. The insider added Olivia is in it for the long haul. She really loves John and is excited about their future. So, there have been rumors that maybe they weren't doing so great. So they're just kind of saying that,
I think it's probably a lot. Now, you said he mentioned it during his stand-up as to go through what he went through and the rehab, and then it is kind of an emotionally jarring thing then to come right out to a child.
Yeah, yeah.
The setup for it isn't great.
Yeah.
Coming out of another relationship, going into rehab, meeting her, and then they having a child together.
That's a lot.
I'm not saying it's doomed to fail. I'm just saying that the premise to this relationship is not traditionally a strong one.
It is, but I guess the argument could also be made that maybe this is a new direction that I can focus
Sure.
on as opposed to my demons before, and maybe
possible.
I can make this
It's possible.
what I focus on.
I think they both could
know.
benefit from spending some time on the WMMR Rock Shop.
Well, we have the new knit
Great
caps.
deals to be had.
Yes,
we
there
learned
are.
nothing in this.
Great deals to be had.
Use the code SHOP.
Uh-huh.
Rupert Grint returned to Instagram after a year-long hiatus. The Harry Potter star posted a picture of his 1-year-old daughter sitting in a small director's chair with Servant Season 3 written on the back. And he also wrote, "Thank you all for watching the HP reunion. So fun to look back.
Oh, it's
and
great.
And to share some of those memories with you all."
Has anyone seen the season premiere of Servant
Nah,
yet?
I might get
this
started on
weekend.
that this weekend.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, so
I
Does
love
that
it.
mean he's back in town? Are they filming here again, or are they filmed already?
and I'm sorry.
Season 4.
Oh,
all right.
They're
So
filming
doing
season 4 right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, the final season. That's what
yeah, you're
Night
right.
said it'd be. Night said it'd be 4 seasons.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they're usually spotted like all over Rittenhouse Square and that area.
Dude.
Get your ass in here.
Rupert
Wow.
Grint,
I know.
if you're listening, if someone knows him, we love this show, and we love him and all things Harry Potter and all that stuff, and
Mr. Weasley.
have been so impressed with his
Yes.
work on this show.
He's
I would
great.
love to talk to him. I know they don't talk when they're working.
So
but
here's the thing: Apple doesn't allow them. It's
To-
that's literally what they
they-
told
they
me.
cannot
Apple,
go.
Apple will not allow them to do interviews while
F you,
they're
Apple.
filming.
Bummer.
F you.
Bummer. That sucks.
I'm
Okay.
switching to a Commodore 64.
All right. Well, anyhow. They're in town. Well, that's cool then. Let's see. The Twilight films were so popular that Taylor Lautner was afraid to go out in public for a decade.
Oh my God, that tears me apart.
The actor told the Today Show on Thursday, "I went so many years either not leaving my house or if I did, hat, sunglasses, and just like feeling scared. But it built up something inside of me where
Like a strong blister, right?
I didn't know it, but I was scared to go out. I'd get super anxious to go out, so I just didn't."
Did he turn his back on humanity?
I guess he's going out now.
Yeah, he's in a new
Don't
movie.
know.
That's why. That's why they're talking to him.
Okay. But is he going out in the public?
I think
these days?
I think I asked him to keep a journal and let me
Okay.
know.
All right. How about this one? Ali Sheedy, who is in that show we recently found out about. I don't have it in here.
Yeah, it's on Freeform.
But anyhow,
Sheedyville.
she's actually might be doing some interviews. We might get her
Oh,
on.
that'd be
see what she's
great.
saying. I'd
Love
to talk
Ali
to her.
Sheedy.
She revealed to Page Six that although The Breakfast Club was, quote, nothing but a gift, she didn't like her character's makeover at the end of the film. She told the outlet it was uncomfortable even when we were filming it. It was one of those things, though. It was the 80s, and we got to take this young woman who seems like a crazy person and make her into, somebody pretty or whatever it was. She said, but I agree, Allison is much more delicious before the hair bow goes on. I love that character. I love that movie.
She was goth.
Yeah,
Pre-goth.
she was, and some of those sensibilities were Ali Sheedy was she wasn't like that fully, but she loved embracing that type of character. She really dug that and really fought to be that character.
The transformation, by the way, is kind of elaborate for what they had at the ready in the library.
Yeah.
Like it's a complete makeover.
Yeah.
Is it a Single Drunk Female? Is that the name of the show?
I think you're right.
With Ali
Yeah.
Sheedy? I heard really good things about that show. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's really entertaining.
Wasn't there an extended scene during that makeover, Preston, where they actually performed liposuction?
I
Using-
didn't see
Yeah,
that.
using a shop
That
vac.
doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, wow, single drunk female. All right, I might have checked that out with her in there. By the way, I watched a show per Marissa's suggestion last night, the
Right.
first episode, which is the
Righteous Gems?
Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Great show, right?
Oh my God!
Lot
I've
of
heard
dong.
great things about it.
Watch one episode and I'm like in.
Yeah.
Did
all
you say
in.
a lot of dong?
A lot of dong. Yeah, Marissa pointed that out a week or two ago. There's a lot of male full frontal nudity, and
but funny and some moments that
Dude,
are horrifying at
it
the
gets-
same time.
and it gets dark. I'm like 6 or 7 episodes into season 1. It's on HBO Max, and
Yeah.
it's really, really good.
Dude, and it's loaded with great people.
Yeah.
Because you've got the names
Walton
are escaping
Goggins,
me.
John Goodman, Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Danny McBride's so good.
It's
Yeah.
great. He's
He's
fantastic.
he's the main preacher, right?
But I mean,
Danny McBride is the son.
He's the son of
yeah.
of John Goodman is the main preacher.
I gotcha.
But it's
I'm looking forward to it then. Awesome.
really, really good, man.
And Steve, in
And
some
Steve,
respects, it's like
you'll dig it.
Yeah, they make
yeah.
fun of like the Kenneth Copelands of the world, and
big time.
Yeah, it's up your alley.
Yeah, I see that they got the
Jets.
father and
Jets.
son Learjets.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyhow, Marissa, thank you for the suggestion. I love it. I'm all in on that.
I always love a good dong show.
All right, and then you guys will love this. Kim Kardashian Skims are now valued at $3.2 billion, according to a recent Bloomberg report. Yeah.
So let me ask you, Kathy, have you ever worn them? Have you ever?
I haven't
have you
worn-
see them out and about? Are they worthy of a $3 billion empire?
I haven't worn hers. I haven't ordered any of them. I mean, I wear similar products,
Right.
just not hers. But I mean, it's like a lot of people wear them. So she, they're smart. Whoever's guiding her, or if it's
The
her,
marketing?
I mean,
Yeah.
she's smart. Yeah.
The shapewear is a big. They're marketing shapewear for men now. I don't know if you've seen these commercials
so-
on like Instagram and stuff like
Is
that.
it basically like
It's
remember
a girdle.
Yeah, remember
No,
Preston years ago?
It is a not as bulky.
Yeah, it's
girdle.
not it's Spanx. You know what Spanx are,
Yes,
Steve, right? Yeah,
they
that's
used
what
to
it is.
sell. You remember? I think who was it? Buster Crabbe used to sell it. Preston. It was a T-shirt that had like a thing that would pull in your stomach.
Oh, really?
Do you yeah,
No.
it was the weirdest looking thing, and to me, it's like an extension of what this is now.
Right. Yeah. It seems to be that. I know
It's
what you're
just-
talking
yeah.
about. Have you guys seen the ads for men's T-shirts that are supposed to accentuate your
Your pecs and your arms.
and all this? It's
yeah.
supposed to be. I think it's a.
Here's the deal.
It just looks like a shirt.
I think it's. I think it's
If
silly.
you had,
I-
if you're jacked,
Here's the deal.
It's
I think
going to
it's-
look good.
They
But-
do the
yeah.
same thing to us, and
Well-
we just fall for it. We're like, oh, this is going to make us look skinnier. We'll take it.
It's not for people who are jacked. Like they're marketing
I know.
it to people to make you look
Yeah.
to hide the pouch and
But
all that.
everything
stuff.
that every time they show it, it's like it just looks like a regular shirt. It looks like a nice shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little like V-neck, you know. So all right, but anyway, and so Kathy, yes, this same type of marketing.
It's the
They're just
same.
hitting the guys up now. on it.
Yeah, you guys just aren't falling for it yet.
No,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I just wear my Skims.
One last story. E! News revealed the full list of A-list celebrity guests for NBC's tribute to the late Betty White. According to the outlet, President Joe Biden, Drew Barrymore, Valerie Bertinelli, Cher, Ellen DeGeneres, Jimmy Fallon, Tina Fey, Tracy Morgan, Goldie Hawn, Ted Danson, Anna Gasteyer, Jay Leno, Anthony Mackie, Joel McHale, Gene Smart, and Mary Steenburgen will appear on Celebrating Betty White, America's Golden Girl on Monday, January 31st. Former co-stars from Hot in Cleveland, Jan Leaves and Wendy Malick will also appear, as will White's Mama's Family co-star Vicki Lawrence.
Wow. So Anthony Mackie is there because the original show was going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Betty White.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. No, I wonder what his connection is to to her.
I was
I guess
curious.
they
Yeah.
must have worked together at some point, or maybe he's just a huge fan. So that's cool. So that's on Monday if you want to see that. All right, it's Friday.
You got two things.
Yeah, we got clips and movies opening this weekend.
Beautiful.
We will begin with Fallout, a drama starring Jenna Ortega, Maddie Ziegler, Niles Finch, bolstered by new friendships forged under sudden and tragic circumstances. High schooler Veda begins to reinvent herself while reevaluating her relationships with her family, friends, and her view of the world. Running time is an hour, 32 minutes long. It's rated R. It's streaming now, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it a nice, beefy 93%.
Yeah, not bad.
Ice Age, The Adventures of Buck Wild. It's an animated comedy. Stars Simon Pegg, Justin Machado, and Utkarsh Ambudkar. That's how you say his name, Ambudkar. So the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild continues the hilarious escapades of the Sub-Zero heroes as they create more prehistoric pandemonium. Eager for a little independence, thrill-seeking Possum Brothers, Crash, and Eddie set out to find a place of their own, but soon find themselves trapped beneath the ice in a massive cave inhabited by dinosaurs.
What number Ice Age movie is this, by the way?
Got to be five at
Yeah.
least, I would imagine.
Have you guys seen the previews for it? The animation looks cheaper than
Oh,
some of the
really?
other ones. Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe, Preston, is it going to the theaters or is it just Disney Plus?
It is streaming now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
running time is an hour 38, rated PG. No score available for that film.
That's not a good sign.
And then finally, Clean, a crime drama that stars Adrian Brody, Glenn Flesher, and Richie Merritt, opens this weekend. A tormented garbage man named Clean tries to live a quiet life of redemption, but when his good intentions make him the target of a local crime boss, he must soon reconcile with the violence of his past.
Uh-oh.
Hour and 34 minutes long. Rated R. Theater release and streaming today. It's a 40% at Rotten Tomatoes.
Stinks.
All right, and that's it. Yes, Clean stinks, I guess. I don't know. All right.
That's right, it stinks!
Thanks, Rock. All right, so we have these things coming up. Oh, clips.
Yes!
Sorry. Thank
It's
you,
a
Casey.
twofer.
I forgot. All right, so we have this. Buck, Crash, and Eddie trying to keep the lost world from being overtaken by dinosaurs in the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. In this clip, Lori Forte talks about why they focused on the character of Buck.
What we wanted to do this time around is we wanted to start a new chapter, but it's still the Ice Age movies. We just wanted to focus in on characters that we loved that we never really had an opportunity to spend that much time with. We love Buck, we love Simon Pegg, we love Crash and Eddie, and we thought that in order to focus on them, we couldn't do it in a movie with 18 characters.
Thing sucks!
Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild is available on Disney Plus now, and here's the next clip. Attendees at a high school reunion remember a grisly murder differently, while the murderer is still at large in the after party. In this clip, producer Chris Miller talks about how it was to create the show.
It was a huge challenge, obviously, to make every episode its own individual movie. And from a narrative challenge, absolutely. But from a production standpoint, each episode had its own unique lighting style and lensing and camera work, costumes, music, everything was different in every episode.
So you can stream the after party on Apple TV Plus now, by the way.
All right.
Now we're done, right? Done?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. All right, so we
Done and
have
done.
on the show today a bunch of things going on. We're going to have comedian Alyssa Limperis on. She's going to be at Helium. Then you have comedian Jared Freid, who's going to be at Punchline. We're going to talk to him later on. And also Keith Yandle from the Flyers, who broke the NHL Ironman record, played 965 straight games. Pretty incredible feat.
It needs to be celebrated.
Yeah, most definitely. So we'll talk to him as well. And when we come back, the Cheap Cologne Challenge.
The great sniff off.
We're going to try this in a moment and see how we fare. And we got some other things to give away. Hang in there. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay put.
Preston and Steve
Preston and Steve.
on 93.3 WMMR.
What's new?
Glad you asked.
Blink Foo Fighters shared a new song called Happy Days.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, the track follows Blame It On My Youth and Generational Divide is the third offering from the trio's new LP, which is tentatively titled Bajmir. Somebody wrote, they texted this, and it says their album is Rim Job Backwards. I thought that was the name of Rim Job Backwards was the name of the album. No, Bajmir is Rim Job spelled backwards.
Oh, what? There we go. Thank you. We would not have known that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bajmir. Or you can name an album Rim Job Backwards.
Would it sound that way if you took...
I doubt it.
Reversed it. I don't think it would.
Here, let's all say
try
it.
it?
We could.
Yes.
So just say clearly, say rim job.
Can you record it and play backwards or no?
Yes, I can.
Okay, say when.
Go ahead. When?
Rim job.
All right.
Okay,
Let's,
so Casey will record that.
All right.
Reverse it, and we'll see what that sounds like. All right, okay, say when.
Go ahead. When?
Rim job.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Bajmir.
Yeah.
Bajmir.
Yeah.
Bajmir. There's a little in there, but Bajmir. Now let me say that forward.
And see if it...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Bajmir.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that. See if it comes back as
Try that. Go here and...
Rim job.
We're scientists.
Rim job.
There you go.
Hold
Do
on.
it again. You can even do it better.
Rim job. Rim job.
We are ready to transmit.
Bajmir.
The aliens are about to transmit a message. Rimjar.
Play it again, Casey. Frame job.
Wow.
You really got that in there.
I love our
And now the envoy from Neptune is about to speak.
frame job.
Frame job.
Frame job.
Frame job.
It's
like you've just met in the jungle. Frame job.
Frame job.
That's my favorite one.
Frame job.
It's a
Frame
greeting.
job.
Green job. You right, green job.
Frame.
Green job.
Frame.
Why did that?
I don't know why it's stopping.
Me? Neither.
Frame job.
Rouge, you tongue to queen butthole.
At the end, I go, frame job.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's definitely
Frame
enough to-
job.
That's the natural gagging.
Frame job. Job. Someone wants to point out that we've won awards.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
I know.
True.
That
Yeah.
doesn't mean they can't rescind them.
Yeah.
What?
Do you get the spicy chicken at the Chick-fil-A, or do you just get the regular chicken?
I have gotten the spicy before.
I think I'm just a spicy chicken guy. Like there.
Oh, dear God. I'm just a spicy chicken guy.
Are you coming out right now?
I'm coming out.
I mean, Pride Month ended
Mom,
yesterday.
can
Did
we
it end
talk?
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
June.
June.
All right, anyway,
Okay,
I was
well-
just joking. Go
I'm a
ahead.
spicy chicken guy. Oh, no.
But I just wanted to let this be known that Wendy's has,
Well, I'll always love you.
has the spicy chicken nuggets are back. So
That was, yes, I
yeah.
did see that announcement they made. So you wanted to get the word out?
I just want to get the word out. Want to
All
let
right.
people know it's usually like $6 for a buck.
Yeah.
I heard.
This morning on the Preston and Steve show, Casey Boy reveals something concerning fast food and an extended offer. We go now to Jim Iglesiewski outside of the Pentagon. Jim, did Casey in fact confirm there was an extended offer?
That's correct, Tom.
Thank you, Jim.
That's all you had to say. Yes, it's correct. It's confirmed.
I think I'm just a spicy chicken guy. Like
Just a spicy chicken guy. Spicy chicken guy. Oh no!
Dear God, I'm just a spicy chicken guy.
I just want to get the word out. Want to
All
let
right.
people know.
Okay, so I want to talk about the movies that are opening this weekend. Where'd Casey go?
Do you think he had to make a boom boom?
I'm not really sure. There's a lot of things that are off about him today, so...
Is it even Casey?
It might not be Casey. Did we check?
Maybe it's
No,
the hair.
we usually take a urine specimen every morning.
So we usually have a little song that we play. Marissa, I don't know if you can find that or not. It's the 20th Century Fox with the recorder.
Yeah.
Maybe it's under... I don't know what it's even labeled under.
I'll admit this. I'm a little scared.
We have kazoos.
You could do that, Kath.
You're a master of it, Kathy. Play it. Play it for us.
I got mine, Kath.
All right, I have my egg.
You know how it goes?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you the...
Okay, ready?
Wait, hum it for me. Yeah. Okay.
Ray, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
You were way better than me.
Thank you. I went for it.
That was sensational.
little lightheaded.
You know what I realized?
You have a
I have a
recorder.
recorder right here.
You want to do it again?
You okay?
I'm better.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't feel good, guys.
Right over here is Jason Kelce. How you doing so far? You enjoying the off season?
Yeah, it's good. You know, we just started up again about 2 weeks ago. This week was the first week on the field with the coaches. So, you know, we're kind of back at it.
Kind of seems like there's really not any sort of real off season these days. The nature of the beast is that you just keep at it.
Yeah, especially when you're playing playoff games and stuff like that. It shortens down. You know, we're probably 7 months out of the year working, but you know that's.
I mean,
pretty intensive work for 7 months. But
Jason, is it a case of? I mean, and is it sort of better that way because you gotta do more getting up to speed?
Yeah.
If you take too much time off, and if you kind of sort of keep at it, you're always just a tick off, fighting weight, basically.
Yeah, I think most guys lift year round pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll take a few weeks off here or there, go on vacation, whatnot, but most guys are always staying in shape. This time of the year is especially important for all the new free agents that we got in, all the guys that are trying to learn the terminology, the new playbooks.
Well, your brother's like one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
He does a great commercial, by the way.
He's tackling an eagle in that commercial, or have we talked about this yet?
He's dancing in the commercials,
Okay.
the commercial that I'm talking about, where he's sort of fantasizing and he's doing like an end zone dance, and then you realize that he's like standing in the middle of a store or whatever.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because you guys are both at the top of your games and the top of your positions, who's the actual better athlete?
Oh, Travis is not even close.
Oh, really?
Not even close. You got to call him as you see him. Yeah. Honestly, he's living it out in fantasy, and you're doing it.
Yeah. No, he's a special athlete, and he always has been. Even no matter what it was, basketball, baseball. He's just had a knack for sports. I think that I've always been big, fast, and strong, but the type of athlete he is, how fluid he is, the way he moves, his ability to change direction and things like that, and spatial awareness. I mean, he's a tremendous athlete.
Jason, you and Nick share something in common. You guys have both climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
You climbed Mount Kili?
I did. Yeah, I did it for charity as well. The organization you guys did it with was Chris Long and Bo Allen. And the Water Boys is a fantastic organization. And, when I did it, I thought I never want to do it again. Because
same here.
Yeah, it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
But now it's been several years, and I want to do it again. And part of the reason why I want to do it again is because of the work you guys have done for such a great organization. And I love philanthropic climbs at all. And to do it and make it that challenging is really impressive. Tell me your impressions of the climb itself.
Same as you.
Yeah.
The moment I started going up that last night, about halfway through, I was like, "What in the hell am I doing?"
Yeah.
You're in the pitch black. You're going. What route did you go up?
We did Umboy.
Umboy.
Yeah.
We did Rongai, which is the only one from like the north side.
Yes.
It's the shortest, but I think
Is it steeper?
I think it's at the top. It's a little bit steeper.
Because everyone says it's like Nick was saying that basically as climbs go, it's a gradual. But there was one route that at the end, it's probably what you did, that it becomes a lot steeper.
The summit is the hardest part of the climb.
Exactly.
And you're already tapped out because you've done a climb for several days in a row, and then it becomes the steepest part at the highest elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't know if it's any steeper. I shouldn't say that, but you do have to. Once you get to the top, you don't go right to the peak, so you have to like walk around to the other side of the peak, which is a little bit more of like another 2 hours once you're already at the top, which is kind of like, well, why in the heck am I?
Are you walking?
I should already be here.
Is that so you summit like at daybreak?
So you get up at midnight the night before. That's what we did on this route. You have a headlamp on. It's the blackest of black you've ever seen. I mean, there's not a light
on a mountain.
Yeah, and you just start making your ascent. And at this point, it's
All right, thanks, Kath. So the other day we got on a discussion of colognes and scents and things like that. I forgot how that even kicked off, but we were reminiscing a little bit.
Story directly pertained to it, and it was some development. But yeah, you can't help but nostalgically look back at the colognes you've gone through.
Yeah, because
your signature scents,
especially in the adolescent years
when you're trying to get laid.
When you're first starting to I remember when even before quote unquote getting laid.
Yeah.
Like I mean, when I was a early teenager, I'm like I started to do those things that might attract to be attractive, or what I thought would be attractive.
And when you saw your
the
dad,
opposite sex,
your dad just go. You know what
Yeah,
they would
that
cologne
too.
the after.
But I would get to those little sample kits of various cheap colognes and try them on, and the whole thing.
I remember, and Steve, I think this will appeal to you. Like in high school, all of a sudden, girls would start to smell my neck, and I was like, "Oh, I like this." Their nose is close to where I breathe.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
I should put some on my navy.
Maybe.
I couldn't help notice that your taint smells enchanting.
So anyhow, we thought
that
it
was
might
the
be
best tea bag I ever had.
I had stated that I think that I could identify some of those older scents. And
Is it because you tried a lot of them, or you just think you
Yeah.
know? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I did as well.
And the ones that were in the dad's bathroom that, like you said, we would, smack the face after shaving and stuff, and the whole room would smell like that. And I just remember all those scents. And as you said, Steve, your olfactory senses are the strongest at triggering memories.
Yes.
I mean, you can have vivid memories from a very specific scent. Scents are very complex.
And it's astonishing how you, you'll catch a whiff of something, whether it be a food or a fragrance or something like that, and you almost, it's almost like
You're
jarring.
transported.
It's like, oh, yes.
You're transported. It's like that scene in Ratatouille where he takes a bite of the ratatouille and boom, immediately goes back to being a little kid.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was driving down the road and it was in summertime and this overwhelming wafting scent of honeysuckles. I had driven by some honeysuckles, came in the car, and I was transported immediately to a time in my life.
It's
Just
so wild the way that it
automatically.
works.
Yeah.
So in the collection of colognes, like I remember I had, you would wear if you were seeing a girl, what she wanted you to wear, because you wanted to make her happy.
Yeah.
I remember getting a starter cologne from my mom years ago. And then so I wear now the two scents that Claire likes me to wear. So,
Steve, I texted. So my ex-boyfriend from college, he would wear Jupe, and I loved it. And so now that you're saying this, I'm guessing he continued to wear it because I liked it. But I sent him a picture yesterday, and he was like, "Oh my god!"
Wow.
Well, let me ask. So what's your nasal capability right now? Because you lost your sense of smell with the COVID.
And
Where
taste,
do you stand right now?
Yeah, so the scent is definitely coming back. It's pretty good, and my taste is starting to come back as well.
All
I
right,
actually went
good.
out to dinner last night and could taste what I was eating.
That's a wonderful thing.
You know what, Jupe? I probably won't be able to identify that
No?
one. I'm not familiar.
So
with.
there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you guys tried all of these.
Right.
So we actually have 10 colognes.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a test here. Yes, Kathy.
Yeah, well, so I just wanted to thank the person that helped us out with this. So it's a guy named Ali, and he.
Did you smell Marissa?
I
when
smell
you walked in
Marissa.
here?
She smells
I'm
like all
sorry.
of them.
Marissa came in and brought us coffee grounds. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
She smells like
she
cologne.
smells like all of the cologne that just came in here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and thank you, Marissa, for doing this, because if I were to have to spray those, I would have to go home. I'd have like a migraine headache.
Okay.
But anyway, I want to thank Ali from Perfume Island. It's a kiosk in the Plymouth Meeting Mall. He used to be in King of Prussia and Exton malls. Those locations have closed, but he kept Plymouth Meeting open for 23 years.
Whoa. Wow.
And he's actually closing his kiosk. He said he's going to be there through Valentine's Day. It's okay. He's moving to Fort Myers, Florida, and he has 3 shops that he's opening there.
Oh wow, good for him.
Yeah, so he said he's going to have some deals and stuff like that. He has all of this stuff that we're using, but he also has like nicer and harder to find perfumes and colognes. So if you're looking for a Valentine's Day gift or something, he's inside the Plymouth Meeting Mall. His name is Ali, and he's one of the nicest men I've ever met.
Listen, I see on this list here, and we're going to go through these in a second, but I see one that we had mentioned on the other day, and people are saying they don't make it anymore, which is gray flannel. That was kind of my scent. So if he's got it, that's really cool.
So he said, I specialize in hard to find colognes and perfumes.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
Plymouth Meeting Mall.
Yep.
And it's an island. It's called the Perfume Island? Or
It's
Cologne
called
Island?
Perfume Island, and he is kind of like diagonal from Legoland.
Okay.
Oh, all right. A lot of kids
Excellent.
like the cologne.
All right, so we're going to do this thing. We're going to do a sniff off.
Sniff off.
And Marissa brought in coffee grounds for
You know
us.
what though? I'm telling you, the shot glass is not going to do enough for cleansing your nasal palate. I have bags of cologne. I have bags of coffee here. I got
You mean like stick your nose
put
in the bag?
like a feed bag.
I don't
so
know. I'm getting a pretty
Preston,
strong scent off of this.
Nick, how are you? Will that get it done for you?
Yeah, it's enough.
Okay, so Nick, so Casey, you use the
Okay.
bag,
All right,
and they'll
so-
use the little cups.
Yep. All right, so anyhow.
That's sort of that'll cleanse your nasal palate.
Yes, exactly. It's like eating a palate cleanser, having a sorbet or
Yes.
something like that in between.
For your snot
dishes.
factory.
All right, so Marissa is bringing in the coffee grounds, and then what we're going to do is we have 2 rounds that we're going to go through
Yes.
of 5 each because Kathy brought in 10 different scents for us to sample, and we have a list of them in front of us, and they are on these cards. They've been sprayed on there like you would get a sample at a mall or something like that. And we're going to sniff each one of them and write down what we think it is and go through the 5, and then we'll reveal what they actually are. So, oh, my God, the whole room.
I know,
Oh,
right?
my God.
Thank you.
That's why it was almost.
I
we
already
figured-
smell Old Spice, man.
Do you?
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
anyhow,
Look at
so we go through one at a time and then
Right.
write down, and we're not going to say what we think they are, right?
No, you
Until
just
the
write
end.
down, and then we'll do it at the end, and we'll see who is the. Now I'm going to hand
Dear
you.
God, what is this one?
Are you doing? Is that number one? Go
Yeah.
through the various
I know
numbers.
what that
All
one
right.
is.
Everyone, Casey.
Yeah, I got you.
What was your cologne of choice, Case, when you were a kid? Your main one, your teenager.
And I hate it now. I
Yeah.
can't. The Polo. And
Polo.
I wore Polo and like Drakkar Noir.
Yeah.
I actually still like the smell of Drakkar, and Craig Legans wears Drakkar.
Okay.
Noir.
All right.
And
you and I are the same age, Case, and
Yeah.
for us, I think Drakkar was like the cool one. They marketed
Yeah.
it really well, and so I wore that at the end of high school and definitely at the beginning of college. But I
So-
have friends that wore Polo, and I think might even still wear Polo.
Yeah, I went from Drakkar to Polo, and then my dad always had Obsession, so I would throw that on. Then I went to Eternity for men.
So you made the rounds. I think you're going to be good at this, Preston. You were the first one to claim you're really good. Nick, you said you were not so sure about your capabilities.
I know one,
Okay.
and I think it's.
Is it the one you wore?
The one
do you
that
think?
I wore,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And because that's like we've said many times, it just evokes the most and triggers the most powerful memories.
Wow.
The guys are sniffing away. Preston, any good memories coming back?
Oh, yeah. Two for sure.
Because I think,
Yeah. I got two
if
for
your scent was Old Spice.
No, it was Great Flannel.
Great Flannel. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And-
so
and I have Old Spice at home because on Sundays when I shave, I'll slap a little bit of that.
Okay.
on.
I have a question about one.
Yeah.
Do you think, Preston and Casey, do you think you note any sense of like cinnamon in Spice Number One, or am I way
No.
off?
No,
Nothing?
because I know immediately what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't even
All right.
associate it with a certain scent.
Let me know when you're done with your smelling and your number tabulation.
Let's open the doors and
Kathy's
air this
That's we
place
tried to
out.
do this while you had no sense of smell.
Turn the fans on.
But damn you got your smell back.
And she didn't. And Marissa didn't even spray them in here. She sprayed them out in the green room, and just those cards. In
You know
here.
what this smells like? It smells like after the track team leaves the locker room.
Number 3 does.
Yeah. That smell. And you know, when you always, for the most part, did you base it on what you liked, or did you base it on what a girl you liked?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, like whatever was considered the scent du jour, the
Yeah.
hot one, like Drakkar. I mean, that for a while that was like the thing to get. It was like the nightclub scent.
Yeah.
By the way, none of these colognes, and some of them are like $9.
Yeah.
And I think the most expensive one is $20 bucks. Maybe.
Okay.
There's
Well,
only
it's-
one that I am absolutely positive about, and then the rest of them I have
Yeah.
no clue.
I'm the same as you, Case.
Yeah.
All right, you guys done? Kathy, did you
Yeah.
have something?
No. Go ahead. Good.
All right, I got 2 for sure.
Okay.
I do know that, and I'm pretty certain I got 3. So we'll have to find out what they are. So we can reveal what we wrote down.
Okay, so we're going to go through the list here, and we'll start at the top.
All right.
All right.
With number 1.
Right. What did you think?
All right. I have number 1 as the Old Spice. Casey?
Okay, yeah. My number 1 I have is, well, I guess I'm wrong. It's gray flannel.
All right. What do you think, Nick?
Number 1 is Stetson for me.
All right. What is it?
Number 1 is Old Spice.
There you go.
Preston.
I told you. I knew
Yeah.
that.
All right,
Ding,
so
ding, ding.
let me tell you a little bit about Old Spice.
We have facts
Yes.
about
Yes.
this.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Excellent. All right.
It is an exemplary specimen of nautical fragrances. Its spicy amber provides a deep, nostalgic foundation to its invigoratingly fresh and citrus notes. Fun fact, Preston.
Yes.
Old Spice was originally marketed as a scent for women in 1937, but it was the men's version that struck success the following year.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
There's a great reference to Old Spice in it was Hannibal, I think, was the movie, and Hannibal goes to Jack Crawford. He goes, "That's the same atrocious aftershave you wore in court. One with a little ship on the bottle, I believe. Something a child might buy someone for a birthday."
That's great.
I told you I'd nail that one, no problem.
All right.
That's by far the easiest one for me.
Me and my older brother tricked my younger brother into drinking Old Spice one time.
Casey.
By the way,
Yeah.
I told Kathy, and she was not aware of this. Aquavelva and some of the really cheap colognes.
Oh, yeah. People drank
Rhinos
them.
would drink them, yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, you have to hand it to Old Spice. Old Spice is still relevant today. Their
marketing.
Their marketing is fantastic. They make. I will buy their underarm deodorant sometimes. Terry Crews was a spokesperson for them.
Do you know a catchphrase that's right on their site is, if your grandfather didn't wear it, you wouldn't be here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, which
All
is
right.
very funny.
Number 2?
Number 2.
All right, Casey, what do you think number 2 was?
We all know what it is.
What
It's
is it?
your car.
I put your car.
It's your car.
All right.
Home run for you guys. That's clearly one that stands out. Drakkar debuted in 1982 from Gary LaRoche. Drakkar Noir, an utterly unique scent that focuses on themes of masculinity, sensuality, decadence, darkness, and lust. Interesting fact, Preston.
And lust.
The name Drakkar is derived from the word Drekkar, a type of Viking longship involving the virile charm associated with Viking warriors.
It sounds like something out of Game of Thrones, like a dragon, Drakkar.
Yes.
You know, something like
I
that.
wore Drakkar Noir
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
I like the smell, and it's still pretty relevant. All right. What'd you say for number 3?
Nick, why don't you begin?
I thought that was Old Spice, so I'm already wrong there.
All right, this one, number 3, this was the toss-up. It was either going to be Royal Copenhagen, which I'm not familiar with, or Stetson. I went with Royal Copenhagen as number 3.
And I went with Stetson.
All right.
Preston's right.
There you go.
Oh, man, Preston, you are
Number
tracking.
3 is you're
By the
you're-
way, I'm going to ace this.
Yeah.
I'll get the other 2.
You are.
For sure.
Royal Copenhagen, launched by the design house of Royal Copenhagen in 1970. Royal Copenhagen is classified as a refined oriental woody fragrance. This masculine scent possesses a blend of orange, lemon, jasmine moss, and amber. It is recommended for evening wear. There you go.
Did you get any splooge? Isn't there one called?
Splooge.
No, that's Jupe. I'm sorry, we're going
yes.
to do that a little
That's
bit
the
later
next
on.
round.
All right, so
All right, number 4.
Number 4. All right, I'll begin with that one. So this one, because I couldn't choose between Royal Copenhagen, I had a feeling that number 4 might be this one. It just had a familiar scent to it more so than number 3. So I went with Stetson for number 4.
And
Casey?
I was wrong. I already know that I was wrong.
And
so
Nick,
I went with Royal
you'd be
Copenhagen.
wrong as
And
well.
so did I, yeah. So I
right.
think Casey and I are going to go 1 for 5, and Preston's going to go 5
Preston.
for
Yeah, but
5.
the next
He
one,
got
I
it
think I'm
again.
gonna-
Stetson, yes.
Stetson!
Yes.
All right.
Stetson debuted in 1981. Probably would have hit in the realm when you guys were really using a lot of, starting your cologne using,
Yeah.
right? The cologne captures the spirit of the Western frontiers, Preston, landscapes and the smell of sage after a downpour. Stetson set a new legacy in motion.
After a downpour.
Yes.
Wait, let me-
Has to be after a downpour.
I'm going to snip that again while you're describing this and see if I pick up on any
All
of
right,
those
so
notes.
it captures the spirit of Western frontiers landscapes and the smell of sage after a downpour.
You know what? When you say it like that and I'm smelling it at the same time,
Well, you would know what sage.
I know what sage smells
Yeah.
like. I'm picking
By
up
the way,
a tiny
would
bit
you
of
do,
that.
and I didn't put all of them in, but they all have basically it's like a 3-tier scent combination,
Okay.
like almost like a major, a middle, and a minor, and it's amazing. That
By the way,
they put that amount of work into it.
there are people that it is their job
Yeah.
to determine what these combinations are, and they'll test them regularly, and they get paid handsomely. I mean, a lot of money to be able to pick up on certain notes of scent.
Absolutely.
And they're
Like-
tested to make sure that they are indeed they have that sharp of a note.
You had a story about, I think, one of the world's premier
Yeah.
fragrance experts who worked. I forget what it was more for women's perfumes, but they were making lots of money. Do you remember the ad campaign for Stetson?
No.
Which was the
cowboy.
The woman like calls into the radio station, and the guy left his hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he had a good smell about him.
But it was a cowboy hat, right?
Yes.
Okay,
It
all
was a
right.
Stetson hat.
It's a
yeah.
Stetson, of course.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I would just like to point out that I got 100%.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I got an A+ on that.
I think next
wow.
round I'm going to get an A+.
All right.
Okay.
Next round. We tried
All right.
to break them up because
All right.
remembering
So-
what you guys.
Gray flannel was 5?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, we didn't get to go to that. I'm sorry. So
sorry.
number 5 out of
By default,
All right,
default
yeah.
is number 5.
was gray flannel. That was my scent. I loved gray flannel.
Would you like to hear the history of gray
And
flannel?
I hope that I get to keep this bottle when we're done.
I think we'll work something out.
Okay. All right.
Launched in 1975 by Jeffrey Bean, gray flannel is classified as a luxurious woody fragrance. This masculine scent possesses a blend of lemon, orange, violet, cinnamon, Nick, you were bringing up
okay.
cinnamon, and rose, accompanied by woody notes of oak and sandalwood.
Oh. By the way, somebody texted in and said Captain Blackfingers just used all these heavily to cover up that skunk and burnt rubber smell.
Oh, they know you so well.
One of the things I loved about gray flannel was it came in a little flannel
little
bag.
bag, yeah.
A little gray flannel bag.
Good marketing.
Yeah, and I dug that. So we're looking at two different pictures. I used the one on the left here in that darker bottle.
Yeah, I think that's what we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know
Well
what?
done, Preston.
I
You-
like this.
Yeah,
I like that scent.
And usually, like when you're going to the fragrance department, you can get the same cologne in two different types. And one is an eau de toilette, and the other one is a
Parfum.
parfum.
So there are
one
these
of them is
distinctions.
Stronger.
Yes.
Yeah. So
You're
one
exactly
is a more
right.
concentrated smell that will stay on you longer.
So-
and I don't know which one that is.
Well, I was talking with Preston. They used to call them like splash-ons or
Yeah.
you know, like Axe body spray is more. It's not a cologne technically, right? It's,
No.
it's
But
the
it
It's
body.
a body spray. It's,
Yeah,
that's
there's-
different.
Right.
Casey's
yeah.
right. There's different levels, and so I think parfum, Casey, or perfume is the strongest of the three.
Okay.
And then what's toilet water?
That is water that you poop and pee in.
Great flannel is a toilet water.
Yeah,
It says eau de toilette,
Yeah.
toilette spray, vaporizer. So, by the way, I'm so happy. I'm going to start wearing this again. I kid you not. It's going to bring back some memories. By the way, I got a text that says, being in that studio right now would be my nightmare. I'm extremely allergic to fragrance like anaphylactic, EpiPen, go to the
Oh, my
ER.
God.
Oh,
Allergic.
yeah, well, they'd be dead.
Yeah.
They'd be dead. Kathy's barely hanging
Yeah, I was
on.
going to say it is
Yeah.
my nightmare, but I'm not like that. I'm not
All
as
right.
bad as that.
All right, so Preston got 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 for Preston.
Casey
Well
and I were
done.
2 out of 5.
During this intermission, which, by the way, we can all smell our coffee grounds here.
Okay, good.
Kathy wanted to, we'll take this time to mention a winter activity or something that you participated in, correct?
Yes. So last night, I wanted to get the picture ready. We will put it up on social media. But so this weekend is Chestnut Hill on Ice. It's an event that's taking place. It's on Friday and Saturday. Friday night tonight and all day tomorrow. And they have live ice carvings. There's ice sculptures all down Germantown. At Laurel Gardens, they have little they'll have some little huts where some of the businesses are selling things. But I went last night for a preview, and they did a WMMR ice sculpture.
No way.
Yeah. So I got a picture of it. It's really cool. It's
You have
gonna
it right
be
there?
Yeah, it's gonna. No, I'll pull it up, Steve. Yeah, so it'll be out there this weekend. And then we went to a brand new restaurant. It just opened. It's called Adelina's. It's right on Germantown. It's a beautiful restaurant. The owner did such a nice job renovating it. The food was delicious. The drinks were great. But Steve, you have a little connection to this person. I don't know if you'll remember him because he was a kid, but his family owned Bella Trattoria.
Oh, yes.
In Manioc.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
goes, I remember Steve coming in all the
All the
time.
time.
Steve and Claire.
Yeah.
They would come in. He's like, they would get takeout. They'd sit and eat.
Yeah, we love that restaurant.
I would go
So
there all
it's-
the time too. When my wife lived in
So
Manioc.
did-
Oh my
so did
God!
we. Yeah. So he's
I was so sad when they went away. It was a great Italian
when they
restaurant.
closed. So
Yeah.
the son is the owner, and he's also married to our friend Andrea from the Flyers.
No way.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So so he I'm telling you, this restaurant was. It was awesome. Like it looked like it. I'm so happy that it's in Chestnut Hill. It's such a great.
I'm thrilled now too.
Yeah,
because
great.
I live I'm 2 miles away. Yeah.
Yeah, so such a great little neighborhood. But this Chestnut Hill on Ice, again, like I said, it's tonight and tomorrow. They're doing live ice carvings. There's like one of the synthetic ice skating rinks. Everybody, there's warming stations all down Germantown in front of all
is
the
it going to
shopping.
be open? I mean, if the weather's inclement, will they still keep going? Because it's ice, it's snow stuff
Yeah,
anyway.
So they're
I mean,
hoping, they're hoping they can get it in tonight. It starts at 5
All right.
tonight. So they're hoping they can get a little bit of the event in tonight. And then by tomorrow, that's what they were saying. They were worried about the snow, but they're going to try to clear everything out so people can come out.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
Love
Yeah.
that stuff. There's some impressive things when you see those ice sculptures.
The ice sculptures, yeah.
I
And
love
they also did Jen Fred's face yesterday. I got a picture of that.
Wow.
Yeah. So the guy apparently is amazing and has been he goes all over the place carving these big ice sculptures. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, we got sniffing to do.
Yeah, we do.
WMMR.
Round
we do.
two.
We're gonna continue the sniff test. By the way, here's a text that explains perfume.
Not
and-
quite right.
No.
No.
Okay.
Eau de parfum and perfume. I'm sorry. Eau de toilette and parfum are different, but they're based in the same thing. Eau de toilette is just more diluted, so it's more.
Okay.
It's with toilet water they dilute it, right?
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
essentially, they just parfum is stronger.
Sure, that
than
makes
eau de
sense.
toilette. Yeah.
Okay.
We just scooped this out of the toilet.
Yes.
And put it in there.
Smell
Is
it.
there such a thing as prison cologne, Preston? If they're making prison wine,
There's
right?
got to be. All right, you ready for round two?
Yeah, all right, guys.
All
Start
right, so
sniffing.
the cards have been brought in, and Casey and Nick and I are going to go through these and see if we can identify.
Just to let everyone know, Preston, what this round entails, the scents they are smelling will include brute, jupe, Jovan Musk, English Leather, and Aqua di Selva. Now, Kathy, is that Aqua Velva?
Okay, I don't know, but so that's what he gave me. So I searched to see if it was Aqua Velva or not. I don't think it is. I think it's something different.
Okay, because it does fall. When I did a check of these, what we'll call lower level colognes, this popped up a lot.
There's no Aqua Velva in here. I smelled all 5 of these. There's no Aqua.
Okay.
I could identify that.
All right.
This is hard. I'm not getting get it.
Casey thinks this is his John here.
And why, Casey? You think you know several of these?
I'm having a hard time.
So, Steve, you know what I was going to say before is my scent wasn't always like this. In high school, I wore perfume. I remember my perfume was Benetton.
That seems insane to think of you wearing perfume
right?
now.
And I actually remember the day where I was like, okay, you can't do this anymore. I went to work. I was working at NBC 10.
Right.
So this was after college, and I had sprayed some of the Benetton, and it got like on the collar of the sweater, so it wasn't just on my skin. I had the worst day. It gave me such a migraine headache. It was awful. And after that, I'm like, that's it. I certainly can't wear perfume. And then I moved to like the Bath and Body, just the sprays, which are much lighter. Couldn't do those.
You should do patchouli. That's always wonderful.
No, and so now obviously I don't
That's
wear
interesting.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even use like scented lotions.
Do you smell my cologne that I have 2 colognes that I wear?
No.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with somebody last night. The way you guys wear cologne, if anybody wears it, for me, you do it the right way. You don't overdo it. I could smell it if I get close to you, like when we're taking pictures, but not at the distance that we're at in the studio.
I think that's the way it should be. So you get your neck sniffed, right, Nick?
I love getting my neck sniffed to this day. I mean, I probably started in high school. I'm sure that it's a Pavlovian thing at this point, but yeah.
The lunch lady just sniffed my neck.
I wonder,
honestly, like if she was into it, bring it over.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I wonder though if because I'm looking at the Brute bottle, and that's not the Brute bottle that I'm used to
You think it changed?
seeing. Well, I don't know, because you remember the Brute bottle was
Green.
It was a green, a
Yeah.
dark green, and almost I feel like you couldn't even see through the green. But
Why are you looking at the bottle?
it doesn't. It's
It
not
doesn't
doing
do-
anything.
Oh,
No.
all right. Okay.
But I just looked over. I'm like, oh, that's not the Brute bottle. I'm used to looking at.
Preston has definitely got his nose buried in the card.
these are hard.
He's working it though. Preston looks like a professional.
I want to smell yours, Nick.
Oh man.
Yeah, smell my neck first,
Yeah.
though.
No, because I want to see if I can get the.
Okay. But could you just smell my neck anyway?
No,
All right.
that's disgusting.
All right, you guys.
Getting close.
I'm
I got
finalizing.
2 more to narrow down. I only know 1 for sure.
Preston's now. Case, your cologne of choice is in this collection as a younger man,
Yeah, Jovan.
or you're still young. I'm the old
So
bastard.
Jovan Musk. There was a young lady that it was on my diving team. Her name is Carrie.
Okay.
That I was I liked her.
Yeah.
Smitten.
I was smitten, and
I'll never forget.
she said that she loved the smell of Jovan Musk. And so Kathy, I sprayed Jovan Musk on my Sammy. Sammy is it's a chamois.
Chamois,
but Sammy was the brand name of the chamois, and so I did that because she said she liked the smell of Jovan Musk.
Wow.
Of these
And,
5, which do you guys like the least? Because I have a least
Jupe.
favorite. Well, I mean the number-wise case.
What? Number wise?
Yeah. My least favorite is 3.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting.
As a result, I think I have a guess for that.
Okay, me
But
too.
believe it or not, I'm having a hard time locating Jovan Musk.
Okay.
All right.
And I actually switched it. I had Jovan and Brute kind of mixed
make
up.
your decision.
Casey's
Yeah.
got them all entered, except
right.
he's
I'm good.
faltering on one.
Final answer.
All right, final answer.
All right. So let's start the process here. I think Preston nailed the first round, and Nick, you got 2, right?
Yeah, Casey and I both got 2.
No,
Okay.
we both got 1.
Oh,
No, we got 2.
No, we didn't.
We got gray flannel right. We got 5.
What did you say gray flannel was?
5.
Oh, I did not get that right.
Oh.
I got that wrong.
all right.
All right.
So
I only got 1.
All right. What did you guys say was number 1?
Who you want to start with?
Let's start with you, Preston.
Okay. I had number 1 as English leather. I was going back and forth between it and Jovan Musk, I believe, but I think I went with number 1 as English leather.
I went with Aqua di Selva because I had never smelled that before, and and number 1 I thought was the most unfamiliar, so I went with Aqua di Selva.
Nick?
I went with a total guess and also went with English leather.
Okay.
All right. Number 1 was Jovan Musk.
Wow, was it really?
See, Jovan Musk is an oily musk and a standalone fragrance. It debuted in 1973, Preston. Jovan Musk is a luxurious, gentle floral It is a fragrance every man can use. This masculine scent possesses a blend of spices, lavender, and citrus.
And English leather was the one that I thought for sure I could pick out. That's too bad.
And that's the one that I sprayed on my Sammy. And
couldn't get it.
No, it's just
Couldn't get laid. All right.
None of us got it right.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, so number 2.
Number 2, I think that was the one I'm most confident in. That's Brute.
All right, Nick.
Jupe.
All right, Casey.
That was the one I put as Jovan Musk.
Preston's right.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Yep, yep.
Brute.
My
Oh,
dad
man.
used to use Brute. He was a Brute
All right.
and a Old Spice guy.
So Brut Cologne launched by the design house of Fabergé in 1964. Brut is classified as a flowery fragrance. This masculine scent possesses a blend of citrus, top notes with hints of spice. Yeah, Brut. It's like, why not name it Masher?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cad.
Casey almost had it right.
I had that Brute was my first guest.
You crossed it out?
And I crossed it out.
You know what? Speaking of stupid names for colognes, in the movie 9 to 5, the boss in the dream sequence said the roles are reversed, and she goes, "Ooh, you're wearing some lovely cologne. What is that?" And he just has this stupid look on his face. He goes, "Stud," which would have been like what a cologne would have been.
Oh my
called.
God.
Brute, Stud. Come on.
What are the ones in Anchorman?
Oh my God, Sex Panther. Yeah.
Smells like what?
Bigfoot steak.
Yeah. Like a burnt hair wrapped in a dirty diaper or something like that.
All right. Number 3.
I'm wrong again.
Number 3 I put as Jupe.
Okay. Casey?
I'm wrong because I wrote it as Brute.
All right.
But my initial, I was wrong with that as well. So.
And Nick?
Yeah, I had that as Jovan Musk, so I'm wrong as well.
Number 3 is Aqua de Selva.
Oh, damn it.
Which seems to be the wild card here. It is an aromatic fougere fragrance by Aqua de Selva, launched in 1949. The top notes are lemon, basil, bergamot, lavender, rosemary, with middle notes of pine, thyme, clary sage, cloves of geranium, and the base notes are peat, vetiver, and cedar and musk. That's how complicated these scents are. That's ridiculous.
What, peat, like from an Irish bog?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait a minute. What the hell does this mean? Here's a text that says Jovan Musk was Tukey oil back in the day.
Oh, for your...
what the hell is Tukey oil?
I guess getting laid, right? Tukey?
I don't know. I've never heard the term Tukey before.
Look that one up.
Tukey oil.
All right. We move on to number 4. Casey.
Motor oil.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah.
Oh, Tukey oil.
Yeah.
So I think number 4, I think that's what Jupe is.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Man. Well, if you think that's Jupe, then I'm wrong because that was your favorite. I put English leather.
I put it as Jovan Musk, and so that's wrong,
Right.
correct?
Nick?
I said Aqua de Selva, so I'm wrong as well.
Casey's right.
So
Number 4
four was Jupe.
No, 4 is English
No.
leather.
Oh, 4 is English leather. I'm sorry.
Right.
Give me your 5, Nick.
Yeah.
Smell it.
All right, English leather was originally created in the 1930s by the Vienna-based MEM company. Because the scent was similar to Russian saddlers to tan leather, it was originally called Russian leather. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
I'm smelling this now.
Nostalgic?
Yeah, I'm
No?
way off. I'm way off on it. No,
Well, and
that
now
one
that
doesn't
I
bring
s-
back a memory.
I smell 5. That
Yeah.
it's
All right.
Jupe.
All right. So number 5,
Number 5 is
obviously.
Jupe, right?
Right.
I had his Jupe. I got that one right because I just remember I didn't like the way it smelled. And I wanted to because it was a very, very popular cologne at the time, but I was like, I just can't get into it.
And it was right in the pocket case for you. It debuted in 1986. Created by designer Wolfgang Jupe. That's where the name comes from. In Hamburg, Jupe possesses a blend of exotic spices, florals, woods, patchouli, Kathy, and honey. It says here, very, very masculine. So what is the tabulation here on that round?
By the way, some people are texting in, or somebody did that Jupe is actually pronounced Yop.
Is it?
Oh, is it?
Yes. So whatever.
Let's go with that.
All right. All right. Casey, how many did you get?
In that round, I got 2 right.
All right. In that round, I got 1 right.
0 for 5.
0 for 5 on that
Yeah.
one. Nick, what's your final tally?
2.
Casey?
2 out of 10.
What's your final tally?
2. No, 3.
3
Sorry.
out of 10.
All right. And I got 6.
You
Yeah!
aced the first round.
Well done.
I'm disappointed in round 2, but man, I went 5 for 5 in
5
round
for
1.
5.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Did you
fact.
get a lot of, as you guys were smelling the various scents, probably more so for you, Preston, were you, was it setting
memories?
off? Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely, especially with Old Spice, Gray Flannel, and Brute.
Any memories of you with a girl saying, but the big game's tomorrow?
That never happened to me when I would have been wearing scents as this. But no, I remember. Listen, when I put on Old Spice, I do. Like I said on Sundays, sometimes after getting out of the shower and a shave, I'll put on Old Spice, and I think about being a little kid and being in the bathroom, and my dad would shave and put that stuff on, and it's just a nice memory,
I remember I'd be in there, I'd be grooming my dad's pubic hair as I did on Sunday morning.
Sure, yeah.
You were the right height for that.
Sundays.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, there you go.
Fun little walk down memory lane with this stuff.
The name of the guy at the kiosk, Kathy, again?
Perfume Island is what it's called, correct?
Yep, and his name is Ali, and he's right in the Plymouth Meeting Mall on the first floor.
Okay.
Did you ever have someone tell you that your cologne they didn't like it, or that it was too much, or that it
No, never anybody outright say anything like that.
So going back to earlier, my South African friend Mike lived with me for a little while, and I had to tell him because he used so much cologne. I was like, it's the whole house, and you smell great, but it is giving me a headache. Could you just maybe just a little bit less?
Just a little bit.
Oh, he was like, oh my God, and he was so nice. He's, oh, I'm so sorry. The one spritz less wasn't
Wow, much better now.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, thank you for joining us on our little olfactory journey. We have other things to get to, so I do want to take a break because we got to get to the Bizarre File, and we have a few guests that are going to be joining us as well, and we'll give away our Word of the Week prize today, too. And don't forget, it's a fill-in-the-block weekend at MMR. Blocks all weekend long. You don't want to miss out on that, so heads up, you get to contribute to that. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
A little bit too steep for guys like me to go straight up. I mean, the porters and guys who do this, I mean, it's nothing to them. They're walking up and down like it's just another day of work.
Bastards.
For us, we go kind of sideways in these skipbacks, and it took us 7.5 hours to get to Gilman's Point, which was the top of the Rongai route, and then we had to walk another 2.5 hours to the peak. So I got to the peak around 10 a.m.
Who else climbed with you guys?
So it was me, Chris, Bo, and Haloti Nada were the four guys that have played with the Eagles.
And Haloti?
They said Haloti and Bo were the two heaviest guys that they've ever seen climb the mountain.
And he announced his retirement from at the peak, at the summit.
After the climb, the mountain is now 16,000 feet.
As we're sitting here talking to you, the texts are coming in, and I wanted to find out what you hear most. Do you hear hungry dogs? What is it? Hungry dogs run faster?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if I don't eat breakfast, I'm pissed off.
Yep.
Or from that speech, there were several highlights. Do people just yell those out to you sometimes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you hear most?
I was actually surprised. Nobody this morning asked if I ate breakfast. And
Right. You've heard it enough,
yeah,
man.
Oh, thank you. I probably hear hungry dogs. I probably hear hungry dogs run faster than those. And that's not just from. I mean, that's still a mantra of Jeff Stoutland. I mean, he was just grilling some of the younger guys with it today, and or not today, but yesterday about we got some rookies coming in here. We got some new free agent signings. You want to talk about hungry dogs, and he's trying to motivate people with it. I mean, it's something that was such a big part, I think, with the team and the city, and it kind of all correlated together that I probably hear that one the most.
That's Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
I did notice something else.
More from the noticer.
Mm-hmm.
He notices so you don't have to.
I noticed
across an empty field. Down the dark alley.
I do notice that I will use digital assistants from time to time. The two that I use are
your fingers?
No.
And your toes.
Not those digital
Oh, I'm sorry.
Meaning Siri and Alexa. Those are the two that I use from time to time. Now,
okay.
Alexa I mainly use for a timer when I'm cooking, or music to listen to real quick, or something like that.
In your kitchen, do you have the show, the Alexa show? Which has the screen on it?
Oh. No.
It's actually very cool, especially if you're doing recipes or things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there was a new study that finds which is the smartest of them all, and in what order. This is Loop Ventures. They did a study that had researchers ask the four digital assistants 800 questions, and they found all assistants were great at understanding the questions. And they have determined who actually answered the most questions.
I have them all, or have had them all. This sounds like I'm bragging about sexual conquest. But, yeah, so go through this. I'm curious to see if it lines up with what I experienced.
So they found that the smartest of them all is Google Assistant.
Okay, so that's what I learned, is that the ability to answer questions and questions contextually went to Google.
I can't stand when I ask Siri a question and she just gives me a bunch of websites to go to. I'm like, dude, just give me.
Do not like that. However, though, Google Assistant will most often default to Wikipedia.
There are obviously silly, ridiculous things that you don't need it for, but you use it for anyway.
I still do, yeah.
What do you think for you is the most practical purpose for using any of these?
Well, honestly, for the when I'm sitting, for example, if I'm sitting and I'm setting up something for the media, you know, I'm watching TV or whatever, and I'm looking down at something, or I need the lights on, or turning lights on and off.
Okay.
Playing music, playing
I think that's
the radio.
What I would use it for.
Playing. I walk into a room. I constantly use it for weather. I constantly use it. I'll get a quick news update.
Yep.
So I'm interfacing it with that. And if you look at if you find out on your app on your phone, it'll tell you your last 70 requests, and mine are always sort of the same thing.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it records everything, so you can find out every single request that you've asked.
I am using them all the time throughout the day.
But you know what? Like, you're busy, Steve. I know somebody, Nick, who can probably come over to your place, who I think is in between gigs right now. Gary Lauer is not doing anything right now. His house is closed.
You know what? Honestly, you don't even need the echo. Just have Gary hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot out there.
Just have your own Gary.
I'll turn it on for you. Lights on.
All right.
Hey, Gary, lights on.
All right, 1 second. There you go. Gary, should I wear a sweater outside? I'll be right back. It's pretty chilly. Lauer.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauer.
Because Gary would be too common.
Hey, Lauer, play Allman Brothers. Lauer, switch to Skinnerd.
Hey, Lauer.
Yes. Switch to Killers. Somebody told me.
All right.
Hey, Lauer, play MMR.
Well, don't you have to kind of have like a bing bong prompt?
Yeah.
You know.
Hey,
Lauer,
working.
play "Summer Breeze" by Seals and Croft.
Summer breeze. Fine.
I met a guy.
Bill parties hard.
I met a guy.
Let's do some heroin
at our gig the other night who is Bill's neighbor, and he told me you should hear Bill at church because Bill is a lector.
He's a lector, yes.
And so he speaks at church. Can you imagine being at church and you hear the other people that are kind of speaking like this, and Bill steps up to the microphone.
And then Jesus.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Said, Peter, you'll be the third leg of the stool.
Yes.
The word of the Lord.
The Romans are the low-hanging fruit in this scenario. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
David actually slung some fruit instead of a rock.
Who had the roast beef?
But,
I give this resurrection an A+.
But listen, in my short amount of time that I was going to a Catholic church, my wife is Catholic, and the priest initially spoke at such a level, and you guys know my hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I sat there. I'm like, what am I even doing here?
What is he saying?
What is the point of me being
Honestly?
here? I don't hear anything.
You would want a Bill Weston. You'd want someone who projects.
Yeah. It was just I'm like, the whole time I think this is a waste of time.
Listen to me, Preston.
Yeah.
We've got a priest at our parish that performs each Sunday.
Oh, it's about him then, huh?
He's very nice. He shakes everybody's hand afterwards, and he's a nice. But it's.
I'm going to improve
you want
on
a
the
show,
word of God.
And you want to be able to hear. You can come to my church, Preston.
Right.
Okay.
Does he do close-up magic as well?
No, but he's interactive.
Yeah,
The kids get to come up on.
Watch me kick the cap off this block. Now, as Jesus kicked the Canaanites,
Steve, he kicks the bottle. He gives the cap off of the wine.
Snuffs out the candles.
That could work too.
Yes.
That could work too. I mean, who wouldn't find that entertaining?
Kicking a few Eucharists into the mouth. Watch this.
When I was on
Hold that Eucharist up about just so. You can travel down a street named after you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think a statue would be more awesome.
You like a statue?
I think
on top of a horse with a raised sword?
Yeah, with rearing
That's
up.
Preston Elliott.
Yeah, rearing up. Both of its front hooves in the air.
Yes.
I'd love to have that.
Wait a second.
He fought in the Civil War?
What does that mean? There's a difference.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean nothing.
There was a long-standing myth, at least this is what I've read, that it would depend on if there was one leg raised or two, whether they died in battle or, but...
Oh, I heard completely other.
Apparently that's
I heard gay, not gay.
They're gay or not gay.
Gay general.
Gay general. Oh, she's on one foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman was gay because both the horses' front hooves are up. I don't think that's accurate. No, trust me.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I read a book.
Yeah.
What does it mean when all four hooves are on the ground?
Polyamorous.
Yeah, exactly. They could anything.
Anything goes.
They're just looking for love. All right, so they're gonna fix that.
Bi-curious. If they're standing alongside the horse.
Thank you, Kathy. You know what's interesting is sometimes when just by knowing that something still exists, even though you don't really use something any longer, can be comforting. And then when you find out when that thing is going away, even though you haven't used it for a long time, it's very sad.
What?
Mad Magazine is going to stop publishing issues this fall.
Yeah.
And we were subscribing a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago. My kids, like one of them picked up, saw a Mad Magazine, got it, liked it, and I'm like, oh, done deal. We're signing up for this. I love Mad Magazine. Mm-hmm. And we haven't been subscribers for a couple of years. But when I heard this, I was so bummed out. I loved Mad as a kid. It was just my favorite thing to get in the mail.
Likewise, Mad Magazine was the best. I also got Cracked Magazine.
I did too.
Then I progressed into the National Lampoon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and that helped instruct my comedic chops along the way. So many comedians, so many people, just people in general who love humor, loved Mad Magazine because it was a subversive comic book for kids. Adults read it too, but it was obviously...
Yeah, because it would flirt with adult material.
It would, all the time.
Not blue material, but it would...
Political movie parody, stuff like that. But it was very cool. And it had a litany of great artists and features. Spy versus Spy. You had...
Don Martin,
Mort Trucker, Al Jaffe. The fold out, the fold in, as they called it in the back, you would have a picture, you could fold it to become another picture. Alfred E. Neumann, of course, a legendary character. They had the TV series. But man, when that would come in the mail,
do you still subscribe to any magazines? Do you get magazines at
last
home?
magazine I used to get at home was because we signed up for one of our family members was selling subscriptions, so we're getting Entertainment Weekly, and then that sort of went away. But in my heyday, I subscribed. I used to get Famous Monsters of Filmland, Starlog, Fangoria, National Lampoon. I was getting lots of magazines at home fairly frequently.
I used to get Entertainment Weekly for work.
Oh, yeah.
I used to get that, but I still subscribe to a couple. I'm Golf Digest and Golf Magazine.
There you go.
I still want the hard copy magazine in there. I have a hard time reading magazines, a full magazine online. You know what I mean?
On the crapper.
Now articles, I can see, picking up here and there through aggregator sites and stuff like that. But if I want to dive into a full magazine, what they have to offer, I still need the hard copy. So, did you ever subscribe to dirty magazines? Because I did. The only one I ever had.
Playboy.
I had a prescription. God knows I needed it.
Son, you need something for your boner. Take 2 Hustlers and at night cut it in half. Cut Beaver magazine in half.
I had a subscription to Playboy, but that's the only one that I could ever. That one I could get away with.
You could,
but
though.
You're not embarrassed about it.
I couldn't subscribe. Penthouse, maybe. But then when you get into your Hustlers and We and whatever the other magazines
Cherry?
were. Cherry.
Wouldn't it blow your mind that
Biggins.
people would get home delivery? Like, because I remember,
Coming up a little bit later this morning, Keith Yandle of the Flyers broke the Ironman record. He will be joining us today. It's a hell of an accomplishment, unfortunately, in a kind of a nasty season for the Flyers, but nonetheless, huge event for him.
And therein kind of lies the rub is that you have this. But I mean, that is pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're going to talk to him a little later this morning. A couple of comedians, too. Jared Freid's going to be joining us, Alyssa Limperis as well. But right now, the Bizarre File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by WMMR and Preston and Steve logo winter hats. And it's another cool item in the MMR Rock Shop, and you can pick one up today for you or for as a gift for someone. So WMMR.com, just use the keyword shop. We'll begin with this. This had to be an awkward thing. A woman named Ashley Keegan recently took to her Twitter account where she said as a teenager she was attempting to attach her resume to various online job applications, but later realized she was doing the wrong thing. She wasn't sure why she wasn't hearing back from people. She was accidentally, Kathy, uploading data from her period tracker.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh.
She was sending her period tracker out to potential employers?
Yep.
That's amazing.
The 23-year-old from Ireland wrote, I will never forget applying for jobs when I was 17 for months and never hearing anything back, only to realize about 60 applications later
my God.
that I was attaching my period tracker and not my resume.
We'd like you to come in next month for an interview, except for the second week. We can find that one.
Her post has thousands and thousands of likes and hundreds of comments thanking her for the laugh.
Is that a common? I mean,
What, the tracker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Rochelle has one.
I've tried it, and but
You're kind of aware when it's.
I can't keep up with it.
It depends on the woman, though. I mean, some it's a little more irregular for some people.
Right.
The tracker actually helps.
Yep.
I'm very regular.
All
That's
right,
good.
So you never know when your good luck might run out. Police in Nottingham, England, pulled over a driver Wednesday evening, and he told them that he had been driving with no license or insurance since he was 12 years old. He was born in 1938.
Oh, my God.
And had never been stopped by police.
What a good driver.
They posted the incident on Facebook, writing, thankfully, he never had an accident, caused anyone an injury, never made anyone lose out financially by hitting them while uninsured. He was born in 1938, meaning that he's been driving without a license or insurance since 1950, and he's been doing it for more than 70 years.
So was there any retroactive
No, they
issue?
They didn't indicate.
Yeah.
I'm sure he got a ticket of some
Right.
type, and he can't drive
There's
anymore.
a ticket for not having a license for 5 decades.
Wow. A hiker camping on a peak in the Superstition Mountains east of Phoenix was found dead after apparently slipping while taking a selfie.
This is terrible. Yeah,
and falling hundreds of feet. The body of Richard Jacobson was recovered after a hiking companion had called 911. Jacobson's body was found nearly 700 feet below where the hikers were camping. An Arizona Department of Public Safety helicopter had helped recover his body.
Let me ask you something. And I see it happen with people who take a lot of selfies or whatever. When they hold the camera up and they're looking at their image in the camera and they're moving that around, you can see them physically start to get disoriented. Like like they're reacting to the image they're seeing.
Yeah.
And
plus
I think it throws them off.
Just being in that position alone like this
right.
and leaning back, you can lose your balance a little bit,
Yeah, and you listen, I've seen some people it's bad luck, and then other people are like, you're doing stuff that is unnecessary. And when I was hiking in Sedona, we did the Devil's Arch, and there was this woman, and you have to take turns and wait to get your picture taken on top of the arch. And this woman started doing this yoga pose, and I mean, there are maybe 100 people watching her.
Right.
She didn't have the balance to do it. I'm like, why are you doing a freaking yoga pose that
For
you
what?
can't do on regular ground?
Because other people do the yoga poses and take pictures of it.
So dumb.
Yeah,
I
know.
want to be that person.
According to a study of the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care, 259 people died taking selfies from 2011 to 2017. And in 2018, a married couple who fell to their deaths in Yosemite National Park, it says last week while taking a selfie. It says in 2018 and then last week. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway.
Crazy.
They hit so hard that they threw off the time
shifted time.
continuum.
A man who assaulted the owners and robbed a Jersey City grocery store 3 times in 6 days was captured by a waiting police officer when he came back for a 4th time.
I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, it's just like coming to America. Store surveillance video taken Friday night at Augie's Grocery Deli shows the violent perp jumping across the counter just as he had the previous 3 times between January 10th and the 16th. Like, he wasn't even waiting months. He was doing them all within the span of a week.
Hi, Augie. Hi, John. How are you? Hey, buddy. Hey.
Only this time, instead of getting
Got
away
your bag ready.
with cash or merchandise, the robber was stunned when an off-duty police officer, Maurice Johnson,
Look, I put a big dollar sign on the side of it.
who had stopped by to check on the store, jumped out from the back of the store. The robber took off out of the exit, but was caught and arrested around the corner by Johnson and the store's owner. It was Augustin Lopez Jr., who was also a Jersey City police officer. The 77-year-old Augie Lopez said, "I feel so much safer now." The robber was identified as 34-year-old Travis Neely. He was charged with 4 counts of strong-armed robbery, by the way. Okay, so I had this story. I have this full stack of bizarre file stories, and sometimes I just don't get to a few of them. And I meant to get to this one earlier this week. But there's a follow-up story to this now. A mystery animal recently broke out of the Wildlife Works in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Workers for the facility say either a dog or a coyote escaped after it was found shivering outside of a woman's home in Fairfield Township late last week. The group was treating the animal for mange and feeding it nutritious food and was awaiting DNA test results to determine if it was a coyote or a dog. They couldn't tell.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. This woman had found the dog, took it in, and they just weren't sure what it was.
I had a cat
Now
one
it's
time.
escaped. Yeah.
Turned out to be a squid.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a family friend who swears he saw a wolf in Pennsylvania. I don't think that there is any record of any wolves in PA at any point, but he said it was too big to be a coyote. It definitely wasn't a dog. And so, like, when people think that they see something, they definitely think they saw it.
The coyotes actually are. Our coyotes are larger.
That's what I told
than
him.
Western coyotes.
And he's like, it wasn't a coyote. All right.
Okay, old timer.
We have this hill behind my house, and I swear it freaked me out one day, and it must have been the perception, depth perception or whatever, but I thought that there was a like a puma on the hill or a black panther.
Okay.
It was just a regular sized cat when I got closer to it, but I mean it instilled fear in me for
Preston,
a moment.
This is an actual phenomenon that has been occurring in England and on the moors for years.
Yeah.
Where and there's the legend of these large predatory cats, and people who have gone and done studies on it say a tremendous portion of those are based on perspective.
Yeah,
on
and I
what
think
they're
that's
actually
what it
seeing.
was.
Because there's nothing to compare it to in the distance.
Yeah.
They think it's huge.
It freaked me out.
Yeah.
And when I got closer, I'm like, it's just a cat. You know? All right. So now
You
I
are
understand.
such a pussy.
All right. And then finally, a drug suspect found with fentanyl in a bag of hypodermic needles told police in Florida that he was using the syringes for fishing.
Oh, my God, that's great.
Police responded Saturday afternoon to a 911 call about a suspicious person, and they encountered Eric Bennett. An officer described Bennett as visibly intoxicated on an unknown substance.
So he ejects the fish with heroin, and they float to the top.
Asked about large bulges in the pockets of his shorts and whether he possessed any weapons, Bennett replied, "I have hypodermic needles for fishing." He then removed a plastic bag with syringes inside from a pocket and placed the works on the hood of a squad car.
What's the kiddie porn for?
Bennett,
Fishing.
Bennett also handed over a cigarette pack containing a baggie of fentanyl. The resident was charged and arrested on a felony narcotics possession. When arrested, Bennett was not carrying any fishing equipment, nor did he expound on his purported use of the tiny spears to impale a big cat.
He might have had a fishing pen.
He may have.
Yeah, which is collapsible.
And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you. Let's take a break. Come back in a moment. We are going to get Jared Freid is going to be our first guest. He's going to be at Punchline Philly. No. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Alyssa Limperis who's going to be joining us next. So we'll get to her when we return. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve
There were subscription
on
cards in these things for the other
93.3 WMMR.
magazines. Like, who's getting Sweaty Vagina magazine at home? You know, yeah, here's your bills, and that looks like a good issue. Now, obviously, they would seal them specifically for the mailing, but still, you could tell what it was.
I never had subscriptions. The only one that I had were there's other two I mentioned earlier, but like I was totally into scary movies when I was younger. And so Fangoria, what was the other one?
There was Fangoria, there was Starlog, there was Famous Monsters of Filmland, there was, like I said, the Monster Times was another one of them. Another one, am I missing them?
You're missing
Okay,
one. There was
all right.
Fangoria, not Fantasia. It was
Biggins?
Jugs, and there are
Areolas.
people that are reminding us the names of
Butthole.
some of the other. I subscribe to Butthole magazine.
What's this one about?
It's a picture of a guy with a pipe. I'm a butthole reader. For this Christmas, give Dad what he wants.
Yeah.
Butthole.
Steve, what are you reading?
I'm reading Butthole, Preston. Telling me how I can set up my stereo. Apparently, you have to run the cords through your butthole.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what are you reading there?
Oh, I was just reading Butthole magazine, telling me how to get a more effective home theater. Apparently, it works better if you put the cord through your butthole. Oh my God. Oh, this is the 10 tastiest cheeses for the holidays. Many of them are better if you put them in your butthole. Some guy with an ascot on.
Everything.
Lord Buddington.
An ascot.
An butthole. An abscot. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I think now that I'm reminiscing, fondly about Butthole magazine. No, I'm pretty certain it had to have been Mad Magazine. Had to have been my very first subscription to anything.
I'm gonna say likewise.
Yeah.
I loved it so much, and there's just. Do you remember when you would see something in it, and it's not like you could do today. Obviously, you would look at this, you'd lend the magazine. And
I never read it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the only thing that I know that what you're talking about is Alfred E. Neumann and that little thing in the back.
But Preston,
the fold.
So Case, not only would you have the picture in a lot of these cases, but what you would love is in the background there'd be like flies with little fly lines around them. Or there'd be these little things that they would do to just augment the picture that made it great.
Yeah, agreed. And
the artists were great.
There were almost little Easter eggs throughout as well, and outside of the frames
All
and
over
things
the
like
place.
that.
Yeah.
So you really had to. You could spend a lot of time reading the magazine. It wasn't just you pick it up and tear right through it. I mean, I would hang on to them and go back and see things that I would miss the first time around.
I remember laughing out loud, as a kid, and one of the first times really laughing that profoundly, and that carried over to National Lampoon, which again, great memories of that. And Nick, you saw the documentary about
with Will Forte.
Yeah, and they
phenomenal.
I remember they did a piece on. It was an old style brochure for the largest ocean liner ever built. I think it was called the Tyrannic. And the artist illustrations were done in that sort of Art Deco style, where, they drew the ship on such an enormous scale that you were just howling with laughter.
Yeah.
You can't describe it. You have to see it. But to have that reaction from a magazine that you're sitting there, to read something and laugh that loudly is just... You don't get that.
Mad Magazine had published 550 issues prior to its reboot, by the way, which was in 2018, I believe. DC purchased Mad Magazine in 2017, but they're going to hang it up. At its height, it had 2.8 million subscribers.
Now they took
which was in like 1973, I think.
They took a big hit when editor Max Sherman went over to handle the chores at Butthole. And,
yes, exactly.
Do you know what you're getting into over there at Butthole?
Oh my God, Butthole Magazine. Someday
I'm curating their wine list.
Yeah.
Apparently, it tastes better when you drink it out of someone's butthole.
But it's sad. It's sad that it's going away, even though I haven't, actively been a subscriber for a couple of years. But nonetheless. Anything from Silicon Valley to Patriots Day to Crazy Rich Asians to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jimmy O Yang. Yeah. How you doing, Jimmy?
Morning. I'm doing well. It's
Excellent.
great.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Patriots Day, you were fantastic in.
Thank you so much. Sadly, not a lot of people watched it.
Your character was the one who was kidnapped, held hostage by those guys, and eventually escaped and alerted the police. Hey, I know where these guys are. I know where they are. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, that guy was amazing.
Yeah.
Danny Mang, Chinese immigrant, college student, and this is about, of course, the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
And I bugged him every other day. Spoiler alert, he stays alive, in the movie.
Yeah.
So I bugged him every day when I was in Boston, and we had dinner, like went to Chinatown every other day. He was a really nice, warm guy, and he came to the premiere and tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, I think you did a great job.
There you go.
Is stand-up comedy where you kind of started, or acting, or where'd you begin?
That's where everything started. I started doing stand-up at the Ha Ha Comedy Club. In L.A. I had to pay $5 for 5 minutes of stage time.
You were born in Hong Kong, correct?
I was born in Hong Kong, yeah.
Came here. I know you have a book called How to American: An Immigrant's Guide to Disappointing Your Parents.
Yes, that's true.
And so you're working at a financial firm, or where was it?
It was Smith Barney, which was under Citigroup. And I graduated 2010 from college, which is right after the financial crash of 2008.
It's a perfect time.
Nobody in finance was hiring, and nobody was going to trust a 22-year-old kid with their money.
Right.
So my dad hooked me up with an internship, and like one day he came home, he was like, Jimmy, great news. They're going to hire you full-time. You're going to be a great financial advisor. And literally tears of joy was coming out of his eyes. And I thought that was just the worst news ever. That to me sounded like a death sentence, And I just didn't know how to tell him. And I was like, I don't want to do this, I had to disappoint my parents in order to not disappoint myself.
Yeah.
That was the creed that I lived by. So after college, I did that internship for a little bit just to appease my dad, and then after that, I got 3 jobs. And when I graduated, I was a used car salesman. I worked at a comedy club as a doorman in exchange for stage time, and then I was a strip club DJ at night. So I did all those 3 things, still not knowing what I wanted to do. But there was no customers in that club, so nobody ever did.
What was it? Were you doing day stripping, or was it the night stripper?
It was night stripping. It was after my comedy club show. There was no prime time in that club at any time. I started off with just a stand-up community, which I thought was so cool. That's one of the main reasons why I did stand-up.
So you've seen Bobby Lee's penis then?
Sadly, no. I feel a bit left out.
Wow.
I feel a bit
That guy gets naked every time he comes in this studio.
Oh, really? I've been to his house, and he still has not shown me his penis.
We're not even Asian.
We're closer friends, yeah.
I know. There must be something wrong with me. Maybe he only shows penis to white people.
It might be that.
That might be it.
And he tells you guys about, listen, here's what I do with the white. You whip it out.
But yeah, Bobby was somebody I looked up to. I watched Matt TV religiously. Steve Byrne was somebody I looked up to. Ken Jeong, and now we're all really close and good friends.
That's great.
Ken, of course, was in the movie.
Yeah,
it's great.
And we all love each other, and doing this movie, one of the greatest thing, was I felt like I found my creed. Of actors, comedians, because we all kind of went through the same phase of disappointing our parents to do this job. We all had the same experience. And when we're hanging out in Singapore, there was no questions of hey, can we go to Chinese food? Look, it's not weird Chinese food. It's just no, everybody was just down. We go to authentic Chinese food, and we did karaoke every night. Everybody was just on the same page, and it felt so good.
Did you do work with the Harlem Globetrotters?
Oh, man. People ask me that. It was one of my very first paid jobs ever. So the Harlem Globetrotters, they go to China for a world tour every year.
Right.
And I was one of the only Chinese American comedians they could find. This was 10 years ago. And I was the only one they could afford, I guess. They paid me $200.
To do what exactly?
To be a consultant. So they sent me the script for the Chinese tour to make sure nothing's offensive.
Oh.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't even read the script.
You're good to go.
I didn't know. I was that was my first job as a comic. I didn't know. And I skimmed through the script. There's something about they bring out a Hello Kitty thing, in the middle of their show. I just told them for $200. I was like, dude, Hello Kitty's Japanese, not Chinese. Okay, just so you guys know that. And that was it. That was my $200 worth of advice, and now on my Wikipedia says that I wrote for the Harlem Globetrotters. So.
Silicon Valley, they know we're not on their radar. They
Yes and no. My dad understands comedy a little better than my mom. Like, he loved it. My mom watched it for the first time. He's like, "Hey, Jimmy, can you not hunch your back?"
He's correcting your posture.
Yeah, I was like, "Ma, I'm playing a character in the show." It's like, "Okay, play someone who doesn't hunch his back."
Another day, another Korn story. Korn has announced that the band will release its 13th studio album, The Nothing, on September 13th. The follow-up to 2016's The Serenity of Suffering has been preceded by a first single called You'll Never Find Me, which arrived on Wednesday.
Again.
Oh, okay. Jonathan Davis said, deep within our Earth lives an extraordinary force.
He's right.
Very few are aware of the magnitude and significance of this place where good and evil, dark and light, bliss and torment, loss, gain, and hope and despair all exist as one, pulling at us every moment of our lives.
Welcome to the deep, dark caverns of energy. You are here because of Korn, yes? You are one of us. You make the hallowed sound.
It's not something he
Everyone.
It's not something that we can choose to navigate, he says, but
what a bunch of crap.
And it's the only place where balance between these dynamic and polarizing forces exists, where the soul finds its refuge. Welcome to The Nothing. Bizarre file.
No, we already
we
did.
already did the bizarre file.
What do you want to do now, though?
Oh, I know we have a guest coming up, but the guest is not ready yet. We're going to guess in a few minutes. So let's do the bizarre file.
Yeah. An extra bonus Friday bizarre. Yeah, you know we didn't do that, Preston?
What?
Froggy song.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. That's
Why can we not remember to do this? We end up playing it, but at the wrong time.
I know. But Casey's going to pull it up now. It just gets us in that special Friday mode. So let's do it. Here we go. Yeah. Play it on Friday. It's no sad, bro. It's a Friday. We got to make it part of the vibe.
Do you want to set a reminder in Siri to...
Should do that for every Friday.
I should do that. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, can I give a shout out to? Well, first of all, can I give a shout out?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you.
All right.
So this shout out is from a woman named Georgie, Georgina Snyder, and she wanted to send a big, fat, juicy shout out to all of her siblings and their spouses. So you got Libby and Nick. And Sam and Maria, they've all been listeners for over 10 years.
Wow.
And they remember listening to the show when her dad drove her to school in the mornings as far back as 2008. So, people are celebrating birthdays. So their first niece, Lena, her birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday to Lena. Shout out to everybody.
Okay. And Nick.
I just got a note from our buddy Victor Fiorillo at Philly Mag, and he would like to send a shout out to his son. And I didn't know his son's name until just now. His son's name is Zubin.
Zubin.
Very cool.
Zubin. It's his birthday.
Here you go,
he turns
Zubin.
16 today.
Wow. 16
It's a big one.
years
Probably
old.
getting his first cologne, right?
Yeah, maybe. we can lend him
By the
some if we
way,
want to.
you go out to our green room. It smells like a locker room.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it really and they're all competing for your nose time.
We did a cologne sniff test earlier, so
Jesus.
that some of that is lingering. Casey just stepped out of the chair. What's the thumbs up?
I think he's hooking up with our guest.
Oh, man, I was going to talk about something. Okay, all right.
Well, maybe you can talk about it with her.
No, I'll get to it later on. But I was all set to do the bizarre file, and that didn't happen. And
Well, there's a little time continuum problem.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll get it all worked out. All right, so our guest is ready to go, Case? All right, so she's going to be at Helium Comedy Club tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And both nights, 7:30 p.m. shows. Are those the only shows?
Just one show.
Okay, cool. Just checking on that because sometimes there's one that. Please welcome Alyssa Limperos.
Yeah!
Hi, Alyssa. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
No problem. We are happy that you could be here. You're in town already, I assume, right?
I'm in town. I feel the snow. It's coming.
Hey, where are you from,
Yeah.
by the way? Where do you hail?
So I'm from Massachusetts, so
Okay.
not too far.
All right, so snow's not a big surprise to you. You get some people that'll come in from the south, from time to time, and
They'll freak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's a bad weekend, but that's old hat to you.
Yeah, no, for me, it's kind of exciting. Exactly.
Okay.
Because
All
now
right.
I live in California, so we don't get this a lot.
Oh,
The big move to California. Well, listen, I've seen people try to, delay it, but eventually, as anyone, all the comedians who were friends with, a lot of them, eventually you got to make the move. Did you fight the urge, or did you just realize the second I get traction, I got to get there?
No, it was, I think it was like a combo. I think the minute it felt right to go, I was also like every day waking up in New York, like, I can't stand the city. I was so at the stage where New York was driving me crazy that it kind of worked. I felt right.
I know that I couldn't handle New York. There's no way. And you know what? I've only visited a few times, and when I go, it's nice and all that. But as a regular haunt, a regular day-to-day thing, I think it would drive me crazy.
Yeah, I like it. I think the city gives you a lot, and so if it's taking, it gives you a lot. But the minute you feel like it's taking more than it's giving you, then then it's gonna drive you crazy.
I'd say I was born in Manhattan. I remember lived a good portion of my life, in and around, and would always go in. But there is something, if things aren't going gangbusters for you, it can suck the life out of you. But
Exactly.
that's why Philly. I think you. I mean, how many have you been to Philly before?
I love Philly. It feels like, it's a perfect city because you can still walk. There's still a lot of noise, but it's more manageable.
It makes a big difference. I have to say that, so doing some research on you, I was familiar with you because of your YouTube stuff, and you've done a fair amount of things. But I mean, I'm reading your history, and apparently I was not clued in. You've had a tumultuous, an article, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, about you, and it was you had a really sort of tumultuous, up and down childhood, and at the age of 12, you woke up with like a paralysis, correct?
Yeah, it was like this strange temporary paralysis. I had a staph infection, and it made me not be able to walk. So I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't move my legs. Yeah.
And my thought is wild is that because of that, you ended up in on the lower floor with your grandfather, who your grandparents were living in the house. Your grandmother had just passed away like the day before this paralysis kicked in. So you ended up living with him, and you kind of developed comedy chops, making him laugh. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was kind of definitely because he had just lost his wife, and he was this old war vet. He was really tough, and he was like, a big rule guy. My dad was sort of loosey goosey. We can play, and he was a big strict guy, and I think he'd just gone through something tough, and so I was going through something tough, and I got to live with him, and that's where I started, making him laugh and realizing the power of humor.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it helped you out too. I mean, with the paralysis, how long did that last that you couldn't use your legs?
So it's like 2 weeks that I definitely couldn't. And then slowly but surely I rehabbed and started walking and running and eventually got back to, running and dancing. But it was,
I think that's funny because again, learning how to make someone laugh or to target a different person or somebody who may not be like you, that might be as a kid. And I've said it many times on the show. I know I was clearly the least of my dad's favorite sons. We have three, and he loves me now, and it's all good. But I did everything I could to either screw him up or make him laugh, so I can understand that sort of thing that becomes very important, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of your life.
Totally.
Alyssa, I wanted to ask about these videos you do because I've not seen them. I've read about them, that you do these mom videos. Can you tell people a little bit more about what that series is about?
Yes, so I make these videos impersonating my mom, and my mom films them, and we do them together, and they're really fun. Yeah, my mom is 4'11" and this spark plug. She's never had a cup of coffee in her life, and she just like wakes up with energy. And she's from Cranston, Rhode Island, so she has this strong accent, you know. And yeah, my dad passed away, and so the two of us spent a lot of time together, and I was making videos at the time for my job, and I was just spending all this time with my mom, and I was like, I gotta do a video of this. And so it started, and then I kept going, and it became this thing that I did anytime my life was changing. I would just do a mom video marking that change. So going on vacation, moving, you know.
They're huge, though. And it's funny, though, because watching a few of them, and she's clearly a good sport if she's your camera person, because you do have fun. You're not attacking her, but I mean, have you ever had one time where you said, "Here's what I'm going to do," and she said, "Could you not do that?"
Yeah, she's a really great sport, and I would say because she's filming it, it gets to a point where I don't think I would ever do anything that I know would make her uncomfortable. Sometimes I'll say a name, and she'll be like, "Well, you can't say that name, because what if she listens to this?" You know, that's probably the only thing, is if I bring in someone else.
So you did improv, started doing improv early, and did you study with the Upright Citizens Brigade?
I did, yeah. So right after college, I went to New York, and I did the UCB program. And
how is that? Because I know, you know, there's like the Groundlings, and then obviously Second City, and so a lot of times people go through and have a great deal of success. I wonder if, like, on a basic level, like any contemporaries we would know while you were there, you know, that we would know of, because a lot of people have come through that program and they do, you know, pretty well. I just wondered how it ran, and were you happy with the way it ran?
Yeah, I knew so little, you know. I got there. I think comedy, it's one of those things where there's not. It's a little fluid. You don't have a ton to attach to. So
right.
I loved the program because it gave me a place immediately to go to New York to learn a bit, to learn more just about how to do comedy. Because I'd been doing improv in college, but we all just kind of guessed. And so I remember feeling like it was such luck if something went well or not. So I think that program was really helpful at just being like, no, here's like, there are actual rules, and you can study this just like you can study anything else. And, and that helped.
And do you know, I've never really looked into those groups like Second City and the Groundlings and all that. Do you just pay and you go, or is there an audition process, or how does it work?
Yeah, you pay and go, and then there's an audition process to get past a certain level and to get onto a team. But in the beginning, anyone can go. You'd be in classes in the beginning, and it'd be, you know, all walks of life, all different types of people.
You know, it's funny about improv, and so I was with a group for a while, and you know, you do that stuff, and you go, and I'm sure you can agree with this, is that after a while, when you leave it to the audience, a lot of the same stuff will get thrown out. So you will have, will have stuff that you've already prepared and it's fully ready to go. And so, but it's just the nature of a group of people. They're going to yell out kind of the same scenarios. And so in a way, improv, in a way, like when I say, when you're writing, you're just improving and, you know, committing it to paper, you know, it's the same, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And I think I ended up really liking performing stand-up more and just using what I learned in improv in order to write stand-up or to riff in between. But yeah, I think I like knowing what I'm going to say before I go on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
You've had a few acting roles. You're out in California now. Is that going to be more and more? Are you going to dive more and more into to trying to break into that?
Yeah, I definitely. I'm going to keep doing both. I like doing stand-up, being on the road, getting to be with an audience. And then in the meantime, I'm always writing or auditioning or.
It's got to be hard, though. I mean, so we're hearing from more and more people and actors that now, because of the pandemic, that Zoom auditions are kind of the way to go. Are you good with the Zoom audition, or is that your preference?
It's hard to emotionally connect, you know, when you're going, oh, sorry, there was a lag. Hold on. I think for some things, it's like, man, I would like to be in the room. But the nice part is I'm in Philly right now, and I can go on an audition today if I need to. So it has opened up. If I go on the road, that doesn't disqualify me from auditioning. So in a way, there are some benefits.
I wonder.
I definitely miss.
I wonder if all these Zoom auditions will end up with people who can really project well, because you tend to talk much louder. We're going to have a whole generation of very loud actors and actresses who are able to just really project.
So funny. You start seeing the quality of acting. Oh, what's happening here?
So I want to know about, I've often heard that East Coasters do well on the West Coast because of the East Coast hustle, right? There's just this hustle that East Coasters have that, doesn't necessarily, it's not inane in West Coasters.
Right.
And so, but I'm like, so I'm on your LinkedIn page right now. Are you like a business person too? In addition to or all these things lies? Like, did you go to the Dartmouth Business School, and are you a business person as well?
I can't believe it. I'll tell you what, I do a lot of interviews. First time someone's pulled up their I feel found out.
It's crazy. Well, so you
it's legit, right?
Well, you said college, and I'm like, okay. Well, so I just kind of Googled Alyssa Limperis College, and then your LinkedIn came up, and I was like, hang on a second here.
Okay, so yeah, I went to college in Middlebury in Vermont, and then I knew I wanted to go to New York to do comedy, but I was like, my parents were very big on, you got to have a job. So I looked for jobs, and I got this job consulting. So I was a management consultant. And in order to do that job, I had to go to Tuck Business School. It was like a bridge program that summer to learn about business and finance. And then I did that job for a year while I was doing comedy on the side. And my dad was big on just get a year. And I remember I got 1 year and 1 minute, and then I quit. And
there you go.
Waitressed, and then I started doing comedy.
All right.
Yeah.
So then, Alyssa, in the back of your mind, do those possibilities ever resurface and think, you know what, I always had this to fall back on? Or are you committed now to what you're doing and say, you know what, acting, comedy, this is my career?
I think, it's almost the opposite, where I think it was really helpful for me to do it because I liked it, but I think it was helpful for me to go, this is not, there's never something in the back of my mind that's like, maybe I would have been happy doing business or just doing a more standard job. Cause I think that might've been nagging me more. So it was really nice to do it and be like, yeah, I like this, but I felt it in my body the whole time I was there. Funny enough, you guys are having Jared Freid on today, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I bet he wouldn't remember this, but when I was consulting, I went to his stand-up show, and I think he started in finance too. And I bugged him after the show. I was like, hi, I want to do comedy. How'd you quit your finance job? And
he was able directly to speak. It must be a large support group of people in comedy who left their finance careers.
Totally.
But having that understanding, I'm sure you've seen it doing stand-up. A lot of comedians can't manage their money and don't know what they're doing.
Totally. I do think it certainly doesn't help to have business experience and to know, to know a little bit about money.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I knew less than everyone else there. The whole time I was at that job, I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
When you're overwhelmed, but when you think for a second, could I do this? But to Nick's point, sometimes it's like it's a wonderful life. You need to see what it would be like if you did go that way and you made the right choice. Were you very athletic in school? Were you a sprinter or?
Yeah. I was a sprinter and I was competitive for
How competitive?
I was All-American in high school.
Wow.
Come on, you teed me up.
Did you do it in college too? Because I had a friend who was ran track and cross country, and she went to UVM. And I was like, why would you go to Vermont to run? Like, it is so freaking cold up there.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's the most miserable activity? It's a little worse.
Yeah. Because my kids have done track, and I mean they're at the grade school level, but track meets can be great, but they can suck because it starts in April. And whatever the weather is, that's what you're running in, and track meets are so long.
I will say I love that you're a parent of athletes because that's my dream. To just go to a track and be there and not have to run. I dream of it. But no, I loved it. But it's funny you say that about Vermont because I did get to college and basically one semester in was like, oh, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And then I just quit because it was so tough. It was so snowy and cold, and
it'd be miserable. It'd be miserable. Yeah. Wow. I wanted to ask you on the YouTube end, and so many, with making a living, and we had some YouTube, stars in here yesterday who are friends of the show, does it take you a long time to get your footing to realize how to make it work for you? Or, because every time we ask this, we rarely get a definitive answer on how you approach it and make it work. A lot of people just seem to fall into it.
Yes, I did have a bit more of so I started writing these blogs when my dad passed away. And then that got me a copywriting job at Condé Nast.
Okay.
And then while I was there, I saw that they needed a video team for this new female-driven website, and I really wanted to act. So I kind of was like, I'd love to do this. So I would pitch a lot of videos all the time. And then eventually I was on that video team. And so I really learned to edit and produce and shoot and make videos at Condé Nast.
Okay.
So that helped me a lot. And then, once I learned all the ins and outs of that at that job for 2 years, I had that in my system. So I got lucky in that way.
That's got to feel like a safety net as well, because there's so many people who now we've, a lot of times we'll talk to the comedy bookers and so on and so forth, and they'll book YouTube people to come in, or, social media stars, TikTok stars, and they'll come and they're not live performers. They're not.
Right. It's a different thing.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them think they can do that, and they can't. You come from the other way. You came in as a performer.
Exactly. Which I feel glad about too, because I got to start stand up in basements. No one was following me. I didn't have, I got to really fail and be really bad for a while when it didn't matter to them. By the time I had a following and could do clubs and stuff, I wasn't just learning at that point. Cause that's gotta be scary if you have to learn.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't, if I think of my first show, oh boy. Yeah. Because
sure.
it's a different thing.
Yep.
YouTube or sketches for me are, it's joke writing, but mostly it's acting.
Sure,
on
yeah.
stage is, yeah.
Well, you've been at it for a while, and now you're finally polished, and people will be able to enjoy this this weekend amidst all the snow and so forth. Some shining entertainment at Helium tonight and tomorrow. 7:30 shows and tickets at heliumcomedy.com. And I'm sure you're going to have some great crowds and a good time while you are in town, Alyssa. So thanks for checking in with us this morning. We appreciate it.
I'm really looking forward to it. This was so fun.
Excellent.
Thank you all.
You bet. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye-bye.
Alyssa and Paris. And like I said,
Very nice.
heliumcomedyclub.com. That's funny that she, that Jared, who's on with us later on, had kind of motivated her or had piqued her interest in how do I do this?
Jared's jam, Preston, is rating charcuterie boards.
Oh, really?
He's he is a.
Wait, did we talk to him about this before?
Yeah. But you have evolved in 9 different levels. There's a lot more to talk about.
We'll have to bring that up. We're going to talk to him a little bit later on in the 9 o'clock hour.
I just pulled up a headline on his Instagram account, and I just agree with it. It just says, "Stop trying to make Bloody Marys better," because you can't. Bloody Marys are what they are.
Yep.
You don't need to improve on them.
I agree.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to go crazy
I
with
don't
the
know. They
Bloody
kind of look cool when you get like a full menu on top of it.
I've seen that. That's pretty weird. Hey, we have a couple of minutes to play with because we're not going to have Jared on until about 9:10 or so. But I saw this. It was kind of interesting. Someone in Bucks County won a $5 million lottery scratch-off.
Whoa.
Did you see this?
$5 million bucks?
Yeah. It was sold at a Wawa on Street Road.
What?
You're trying to get points.
She is going to get points. If you're going to be bitchy about it like that, 5 points to Bucks County.
Whoa!
Wow.
Wow, man, that didn't need to happen.
To Bucks. No, I was planning on doing it anyway.
Oh, you were?
I didn't tell Casey though, but yeah. Are you kidding me? Somebody won freaking $5 million,
Yeah,
man,
but
at
what
a
if they're
Wawa
from Delco?
in Ben Salem. It happened in Bucks County. The luck was in Bucks County.
Wow.
And so they got it at the Wawa 1800 block of Street Road in Ben Salem. By the way, the score is now Delco 50, Bucksco 30.
Oh, we're creeping
You're
up.
tightening the lead.
We're creeping up on that pilot that wasn't even yours.
Yeah.
So there you go. She's got an argument.
We've only scored once. We're 28 days into the year,
Right.
And we had one helicopter crash, and that's it.
It was a good one.
It was a good one.
It was a 50-pointer.
This is the Bi-County Cup, by the way. I want to get a larger erase board that I can put the
behind you.
Yes,
crest
and put
on?
the crest
Yeah.
on there. So Marissa will
I'm voting to stop the count right now.
probably. Oh, and Marissa is keeping a tally of all the things that have taken place and the points. That's funny. All right, thank you, Marissa. She just brought it in here. So the top prize, it was the top prize that players can win in the $50 game called 5 Million Moneymaker Scratch Off. Wow. The Wawa store will also cash in and get $10,000 just for selling that winning ticket.
I wonder.
By the way, the Pennsylvania Lottery Mega Millions is way up.
$100 trillion
It's tonight. No, it's I think it's over 400 million.
And I think Powerball's back up to over 100 million.
Really? Okay.
So they're both creeping up again.
Do they sell Mega Millions and shows?
Downstairs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Powerball's at 104, and I'll see what
you come see me, Preston?
I'll see what Mega Millions is.
Mega Millions is 421 million.
There you go.
Quick question: if you're the Wawa and you do get that fee back, do you split that with the employees, or how do you approach that? Where does the money go? Does it go to corporate?
I would imagine. Are they franchises?
No, it's one. Wawa is Wawa.
Okay, so
Wawa's the owner.
Then the store. Then why would the store get $10,000?
Well,
I don't know. Maybe they do split it up amongst the employees.
That'd be nice, right?
If it's corporate headquarters.
Like if Cho's sold it, they would get the 10,000. You know,
Right.
it just goes to the owner. And
Mrs. Cho would pull up in a bed.
Yeah, but there's not an owner of this. If it's
so it probably just goes to corporate, and
Okay.
they're allowed to do whatever they want with it, I guess.
All right. So the Pennsylvania Lottery made the announcement on Tuesday, and we don't know who the winner is. So mystery winner. Congratulations, $5 million, man.
Yeah, well, listen.
You know, I mean, you hear all the 500,000, 500 million, and all these big ones, man. Do you imagine stumbling into $5 million? It seems so puny compared to those other numbers, but think about how life-changing that is.
Absolutely. Yeah. There was a guy, I forget who it was a financial whiz, and I was watching an interview with him, and he made the point about, I forget what amounts he said, but he said, at a certain point, what's the difference between this amount and this amount?
Right.
Yeah. Right. So it all becomes insignificant.
All right, so Steve,
blur.
there's a funny plot line on the TV show Succession.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I was going to say.
All
That's
right,
crazy.
so they are mega rich, right? It's sort of like a takeoff on the Rupert Murdoch family,
Right,
and so billions level, right? And somebody on that show at one point, like,
I thought that was a billion.
That's
Sorry,
this one right here.
that's the one. Sorry.
somebody on that show at some point achieves the status of around $10 million worth of wealth. And they say how miserable that is.
No, it was actually $5 million.
$10 million. I can't believe I couldn't get the story out.
You can't. How long have you been on the show?
Long enough that I still can't think straight.
So it's $10 million.
Yes, I don't remember where I was going with this, but the point is that $10 million for uber wealthy people is not that much money because they are at a level of wealth that doesn't get them to uber wealth, but is more than being poor in their book. So being like a millionaire, you're poor. $10 million, you're not really at that level yet. $1 billion, you're rich.
You know, it's funny because you always wonder, like
Yeah.
when you, and again, I've always thought that if you earn it, it means more to you. And then other people have said, oh, it doesn't matter. But
it matters.
But I think it does also in context. Like like you look at Bezos and that level of wealth. But he had to go into outer space to get excited about something.
Yeah,
what at a certain point. Like
you can do whatever
when you go
want.
in, I have a new Batman statue
Anytime.
at home that I got, and I was like, oh, when I walk in, that's what I love this. But it's nothing.
Yeah.
What when he just bought how many acres in Hawaii? Hawaiian real estate, this sprawling estate. Does he go, this is great? Or is like, oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, I always think about that Judge Judy interview on Norm Macdonald where she talks about her wealth, and he asked her specifically, and he asked her in a nice way, and she talks about how, because she's 100 million plus, right?
Crazy money.
But it removes for her and her family, it removes stressors in her life. There are things that she never has to worry about. That doesn't mean that you're automatically happy.
Right.
Because it does not, money does not buy happiness. But it can remove stressors that the average person does not have to deal with.
That's true.
I'll bet you some of those people that have that much money that they that the thrill is gone on a lot of things.
I bet so too.
That they probably get a kick out of making people do things.
Oh, jeez.
Out of manipulating people, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Some
you can't really
scumbag
buy
types.
that.
I think that's just a jerk in general. They don't have to be rich.
Totally. Well, yeah, I know, but to a level that is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because they can do it. They can money.
I'll give you 50 cents to smack your mother.
Right. Hang on, I'm gonna go to Scott. Hey, Scott. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. What's up, Scott?
I'm a GM at Wawa. I just wanted to explain how the lottery works as far as winnings are concerned.
Oh, excellent. All right. So let's say your Wawa has sold a $5 million ticket and you win $10,000. The store does. What happens to that?
It goes to corporate.
Goes to corporate.
All right. This is simple as that.
Simple explanation.
Okey dokey.
Store.
They are the ones who are
for
responsible
store
for
recognition
putting those
funds.
lottery tickets in the stores. So yeah,
That's it, man. I the line grows long, and then you're putting lottery tickets in there, and everybody's getting impatient at the line, and you get yelled at, and like, hey, come on, help the line out. But at the end of the day, corporate gets that money. And
It would be nice to spread that money, with the employees of that particular store. But I guess that's why I don't own a Wawa or
Hey,
a
Scott.
franchise Wawa.
Hey, Scott, why don't you sell batteries?
Every single day. Do you
Every
sell
single-
batteries? No.
right.
We sell cigarettes and gas. That's what we sell.
All right, thanks,
Here's
Scott.
some Sisley's, maybe.
Yes.
So they do. I will say Wawa does provide some store recognition funds. So if you're the Wawa that sells a winning lottery ticket, they'll put maybe like $1,000 in store recognition funds. You can throw a pizza party, or you can take your team out to Dave and Buster's or something like that. But,
Well, that's not bad. It's something.
That's a little something, a little token of appreciation. But outside of that, no, they're taking that to the bank because
All right.
Wawa's
Got it.
trying to make some money here.
I got you. All right, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, man.
Hey.
All right. Yeah.
I don't like when you guys do it, but I think it's funny when other people call in and do it.
All right, one other quick thing, and then we'll take a break. But this is interesting. So Wordle, the game, the word game, which is very, very popular right now. Apparently, a Twitter user is trying to ruin the Wordle fun because everybody, it's not an app, it's a website. You go to the website. Everybody in the world who goes on the website gets the exact same word, I guess, or at least English speaking. I don't know about if there are foreign countries
Japanese
that don't have English that maybe have their version of it. I'm not sure. But anyhow, the English speaking ones. So you go to it. Everybody goes to the same one. We're all working on the same word together. I didn't know that the first time I played it. I took a screenshot when I finished. I sent it to Casey.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't send a screenshot. There's a share button. If you send a screenshot, it gives away the answer. Okay, so don't do that. I was like, okay, I won't do that anymore. But apparently there's a Twitter account that has been trying to ruin it, and they have been posting the upcoming winning words. It is thought they came up with the words by looking at the Wordle webpage source code, and the account automatically responded to accounts posting their Wordle scores with a message. It says, guess what? People don't care about your mediocre linguistic escapades. To teach you a lesson, tomorrow's word is, and then it gives away the answer.
So, listen, what kind of
a dick
scumbag is prompted to do that? It's people have found a benign way to have a little bit of enjoyment, and that pisses someone
I know,
off.
like why?
I bet you Hitler would have done
I
that.
didn't get on. I'm going to download the app right now because
It's not an app. It's a website.
Oh, jeez.
I just said that.
Wordle?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But it's
Now,
just.
by the way, you got to
I
remember
don't-
there's a heavy smell of brute wafting in the air.
That's true. That's
Could
true.
be causing
Now,
her
there
delirium.
is an app that we have called Word Us, which is essentially what?
That's what I was going to ask you because you guys keep playing on an app.
No, we don't.
You do play that
Word Us is not an app?
Oh no, just Rochelle and I do. That's for fun. Okay, so you play as many as you want to. It just goes over and over and over. It's a good time killer. But the actual Wordle website is one word per day, and that's it. And that's the one that Casey and I play.
Then
and kind of
who
compare.
sang Word Up?
Cameo.
Okay.
Cameo did Word Up.
Word Up.
Wait a minute. So Kath, if you want to download the app,
Yeah.
it's Word Us.
Okay, that's what I see.
Okay,
All
so
right.
that's just for fun to play.
Got
But
it.
if you actually want to be in on the
Wordle.
what everybody's doing, it's
The
what's the website, Casey? Do you have
It is powerlanguage.co.uk.
Yep, that's it. So, or you can do a search on Wordle online game, and I'm sure Google will find it for you. But it's fun. It's pretty ingenious. It's simple, but it's
Boom! Got it in 3.
Glad you were
saying?
with us. So
wait, sorry.
and by the way, he does this all the time during the show.
Is this that's it now? Now you, Casey, you can't play
He's done
again
for the
today.
day.
I'm done for the day.
Till tomorrow morning, and then it pops back up. But it's fun. It's It's one that you can sit there and work on for a while and have a real hard time with and set it down and come back to it later on.
And nail it.
And have a fresh head.
Right. Take a shower.
And try it again. Take a shower, wipe your butt, do whatever you got to do.
Love fresh head.
Smoke a bowl.
Fresh head. Exactly. Smoke a bowl.
You with me?
All right. Anyway. So avoid the Twitter account, which is Wordlinator, WORDLINATOR, because that's one that's spoiling it for everybody. Yeah, it's not cool. Exactly.
Fun spoiler.
Do we need to take a break?
Yeah. We could take a break, yeah.
Okay, yes.
Can I just mention one thing? I talked about Chestnut Hill on ice earlier. Because of the weather, they're actually postponing Saturday, so they're still going to have the event tonight, which starts at 5 p.m. They're going to postpone for Saturday, so no event on Saturday. They're going to do it on Sunday from 12 to 5 on Sunday.
Okay,
They should be fine then.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. All right,
Excellent.
let's take a break because we are going to have Jared Freid, who is at Punchline, joining us, and then Keith Yandle, Flyers defenseman, broke this unbelievable Ironman record. So we'll get to those guests and more. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve
On 93.3 WMMR.
All right.
We are in nothing. Play the ceremonial sound. Enter.
That's like the password.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's open sesame.
Okay.
You have approached the boulder of truth. To enter the hall of corn, you must emit the sound of recognition. Proceed.
Slowly, the boulder rolls to one side.
Enter.
This is as stupid as it gets.
Davis is literally.
Why?
Come on in.
Come on in.
I love songs like that are just, oh my God, you just said it.
Yeah.
You just said it so plainly, not a lot of, flowery language or metaphors. You just said it straight out. I
know one that comes immediately to mind that actually, when I had gone through a breakup, laid it out, and I was like,
I know
got
what it is.
Say it.
Heart of the matter?
You got it.
I knew it.
It's the economy of words.
Telling you.
The message.
Yeah.
It nailed it.
I agree. Don Henley.
Yeah.
And it's so plainly speaks. And he managed to make it all rhyme.
And he
too.
made it rhyme.
How the hell do you do that? These guys. But I wanted to throw this out as a subject of the song that gave you the strength, whatever it was. Jim, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Jim?
Hey, so 15 years ago, I was working for Johnson & Johnson, and we were working on a new Tylenol product, that's Tylenol Rapid Release Gels.
Yeah.
So I'm down in Puerto Rico. I was down there for about 18 months, away from my family, the whole deal. And we were having a lot of technical problems. We're really dejected because we're thinking we're going to have to tell them to delay the launch and everything. And we're winding up the day around 8 o'clock at night. We're on our way to a small hole-in-the-wall restaurant, and as we're walking into the restaurant, we hear Rocky Going the Distance. And so forth. And
You got a headache?
Are you ready? You got a headache? You want an immediate relief? Then you got to have Tylenol. Rapid release! Come on! Rapid release! You can't wait? Your head hurts!
But Jim,
was the weirdest thing, and in Puerto Rico of all places too. It was hilarious.
Regular Excedrin stinks.
But it gave you the strength because you were missing your daughter, and you just to keep on going, right?
I love you.
Exactly.
I miss you so much. But Daddy's working on rapid release
Down here in Puerto Rico.
Oh my God!
You can't come home right now. It's with the Puerto Ricans trying to mix rapid release Tylenol.
I hope no one's calling in for sympathy.
Thanks, Jim.
Not gonna get it.
Because when you got your head, it feels like it's a punching bag. You got to have immediate relief.
Yeah, well, listen, it could come.
What's that up on the roof? It sounds like a seizure.
You have to take a few Tylenol. Yeah, maybe like a billion.
But like a billion.
Yeah.
To shut down your kidneys.
An artificial tongue that can taste minute differences between varieties of Scotch whiskey could be the key to identifying counterfeit alcohol.
I was watching this story yesterday, and I guess the guy who invented it, Preston, has a really thick Scottish brogue.
Yeah, so they're engineers from the University of Glasgow and Strathclyde in Scotland that created this. Yes.
So and it can. The whole purpose is to distinguish knockoff Scotch, basically
counterfeit alcohol.
Wow.
Well, because you're talking about big money when it comes to
also
some brands of alcohol.
Listen, Angus, I'm taking this home for the weekend. It's the missus's birthday.
Yeah, it's the artificial tongue.
Here, sit on this for about an hour.
The study
you'll be seeing Israeli parasites in no time.
Involving arranging submicroscopic slices of the two metals in a checkerboard pattern of taste buds.
Look at that tongue go.
Which are around 500 times smaller than those on a human tongue.
So
the scientists measured the plasmonic resonance, or the tiny difference in how much light they absorb, to identify the types of whiskey.
Will this be the companion piece to the fleshlight?
Maybe, or the Sivian. It could be used in food safety testing, quality control, security,
frat parties,
really any area where a portable, reusable method of tasting would be useful. But one whiskey expert cast doubt on the artificial tongue's effectiveness. Charles McLean.
This is a crock of crap.
A master.
You and your stupid tongue. I see right through your ruse, you knob niffler. That's a Scottish insult.
Is it?
I just made it up.
It is now. You knob niffler.
Niffling knobs all day.
No, his title is he is a master of the quaich.
You're a master of the quaich.
The Scotch.
You wee weenied prick.
The Scotch whiskey industry's highest accolade.
Oh, it's a compliment I just paid you. I didn't even know it.
Is master of the quaich, by the way.
You're a master of the quaich.
Master of the queef.
And your wife is a master of the queef. Yeah, I said it. You tongue-building ass.
He said, flavor assessment in the whiskey industry is done by smell, taste, and texture. Of all
the 3 R's.
Of all...
What?
I'm Scottish.
Of all the senses employed, smell is the most important, he says.
Absolutely.
Whiskey blenders and quality assessors rely entirely...
Stick your tongue in your nose.
So anyhow, they made an artificial tongue.
You made it. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're finally living the dream. You made your stupid ass tongue.
You fake tongue
freak. You frig nibbler.
Frig nibbler.
He's just making things up.
I'm making them up and they're sticking.
I love it.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
You frig nibbler.
You frig nibbler. You chowder huffer. Well, when an angry Scotsman says it, carries more weight.
You lollygagger.
He's a carp tickler. That's a compliment.
Here's the thing. When I make jokes about people that have disabilities, never the person with the disability gets mad at me.
Well, there you go.
Ever.
There you go.
It's always the person who knows the person with a disability. It's always the person who is like, my son.
Do you get extra firepower because you are a person of smaller stature?
Yes, I'm a dwarf, midget, person short stature, and I know it's my voice. You can't tell. I'm not on the radio like, oh, plus some stuff. Woohoo! I don't sound like that. But yes, I get a little more leeway because it's really hard to get mad at the dwarf who's making jokes.
Do you ever have someone get pissed off at you and then not realize that you are, and then like you see them like.
Yeah, on the radio. Yeah, on the radio that happens because, like I said, I don't sound like. And then they come like, "How dare? Well, how would you like it if you have a disability?" It's like, I can't wear adult clothes. Like I gotta pick up chicks with Bob the Builder on my T-shirt. All right, yeah. Like I did a show a few weeks ago, and there's a guy in the audience, and he was in a wheelchair. and he didn't have any legs, right? And I immediately started making fun of him, and he laughing. You could tell he's laughing because the chair was moving back and forth real fast, and the audience got mad. And like one dude stood up, he's like, "Stop making fun of him! What if he gets mad at you?" And I was like, "I'll run up some stairs. I'm not worried. This guy's not gonna do. He's not a threat." So yeah, like it's always the people that don't have the ailment that I'm talking about that get mad.
Do you ever get hit up for do scripts come your way for
Yeah. And
what's the most bizarre you've gotten sent your way?
Oh my God.
Because you know you had when the Hervé Villechaize story was being done, right?
Well, yeah, because that's Dinklage though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
He produced it.
He's the Dinklage is the top guy. I hate Peter Dinklage. It's strictly jealousy. It has nothing to do with him as a person. He's probably a delightful human being, but he's in everything. If they made a movie and called it the Brad Williams story, it would be starring Peter Dinklage. It's madness.
What's the craziest thing you've been offered? Yeah.
Well, the craziest thing I was ever offered, and I actually did it. So this one dude wrote me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a horror film, and I need you to be like a monster or whatever."
Really?
And I was like, "All right, cool." And I had to sit in the chair. They put the mold all around me. You have to sit there for however many minutes.
It's claustrophobic, right?
Yeah, so the mold sets. It's really kind of scary. And then you do it, and then he goes, "Okay, this could be the monster mold." And I did the film. It's like some low budget independent.
Yeah.
It's nothing anyone's seen. What I didn't know is that the guy took the mold and sold it to somebody who turned me into a sex toy.
Are you kidding?
That is
There's a Brad Williams sex doll?
Yes. Well, not anymore because I sued them.
Were you flattered?
Unbelievable.
Were you slightly flattered?
Slightly flattered, but like, dude, it was freaky because someone gave me the website.
Did you get one at least before you sued him? Because you could literally go F yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. My wife could have something to do while I was gone. But yeah, like I looked at this website. It was me. It was
God.
me. And I just thought to myself, like, how weird is this going to be if someone on the street who bought this sees me walking the other way and just goes, "Whoa!" Like, and it just like has this weird reaction. I'm like, "Why are you acting like that?" He's like, I usually put my penis somewhere on you." That's great.
Was it being marketed as Brad Williams? Or?
No,
I'm sure not. Yeah.
No, it was marketed as like a midget sex toy. Like, this is how you could bang a dwarf. And
What
I'm
a
just
world!
Like,
Wow.
yeah, and I'm
What
just
a
like,
world.
wow. So yeah, I had to get my legal team involved in that.
Brad, what were they going for? Do you know? I'm just curious.
It was like $125. It was like an expensive sex toy.
Wow.
I once was asked to play in a charity golf tournament, and I thought, absolutely great. I'll go play in the charity golf tournament, and I do. And they had these golf carts that had the names of all the celebrities on the golf carts. So I'm walking, and it's like it's Bill Engvall was in it, and like some guy from Greece, not John Travolta. So who the hell cares? And then I see my golf cart. It says "Wee Man" on the golf cart.
No way.
Yeah, it says "Wee Man" on the golf cart, and at first I was pissed, and then the group I was playing with start walking towards me, going, "Oh, we're so glad we got Wee Man. All our friends got lame celebrities. We got Wee Man." I'm like, "Oh God, now I got it."
Yep.
Now I can't be like, "You actually did get a lame celebrity." So I faked it. I faked being Wee Man because I thought, these guys are giving a lot of money to charity.
Sure.
Let's make sure they have a good time.
Up and ready to go, who we're going to have along in just a moment. A little later on, too, we're going to have Keith Yandle from the Flyers, who broke the NHL Ironman record. 965 games straight. Amazing.
And that's sport. It's not like, as you said, there's some lower impact sports.
Yeah.
You're getting your ass kicked every time you go out and play.
This is the real one. So we'll talk to Keith a little bit later on. But yes, our guest is ready to go. He's going to be at Punchline tonight and tomorrow. A couple shows both nights, 7:30, 9:45. You can get tickets at punchlinephilly.com. This is Jared Freid.
Hey!
Morning, Jared. I don't hear anything.
Thank you for having me.
There we go. We got you now. How you doing, man?
I'm good. What a reception. Thanks for having me.
It is our absolute pleasure. And we know you're in town already. We got a little weather on the way today, so you've been made aware of that?
I'm here. Someone was like, "What are you going to do about the snow?" I was like, "Whatever they tell me to do." I don't know why. Why we're looking to our comedians to lead us through the snowstorm?
Yeah,
How the hell do I know? I'm going to go to the show. I'm going to go to work if I'm told to go to work.
Yeah, this is the time to be a loose cannon.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to redefine what you do in the snow. It's going to be fine, though. Listen, and in fact, sometimes it's the best time to go out. It gives a little bit of an element of risk to it when you go out. So it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it's like a tight wire act. I'm from Boston where everyone, they look at snow and then they go, it's never enough. Like, oh, this is snow. They get mad that it's not even bigger and that people aren't frozen to death in the street. They're like, oh, why did we even talk about it? They get mad that you talked about it, so I'm going to do that just until I'll be the one freezing to death, hoping waving people into my shows so that I can pay rent in the future.
Yes.
Hey, Jared, when snowstorms would happen, would that be a call to arms to round up the booze and everybody get together and try and congregate at the local pub or something like that?
Well, I was 17, so I wasn't really, congregating at my, O'Hanlon's pub. But I do that. I think as a true person of that drinks too much, any weather makes me drink.
Okay.
And makes me hearken.
Any
Any weather will make me it's snowing. Oh, it's sunny. We should have a drink.
Right.
Oh, it's mild out. Yeah, we should just do a drink. I went to Penn State, so I think you picked that up there. So
probably that's where you're going to get that indoctrination. You mentioned Boston and the snow, and I remember it was a couple of years ago, and we were reporting on it. I mean, Boston just got effing hammered. And then they actually had parking lots where they had stacked the snow because it was just so much. And then when that started to melt, they found like 9 bodies of just people who were like,
oh my God.
Yeah, like crazy. I mean, people.
I remember those snow stacks because they would stack it in like certain areas. And then they'd be there until like the summer. They lasted forever. And you'd be like it's just like, it's the reason people leave the Northeast. Like my parents, my parents made the Jewish pilgrimage to Boca, and when they immediately were like, yeah, I don't know why we lived anywhere else. They were like, why have we been just miserable? It's like, why, you're looking at a snow stack that's brown in the middle of July. You're like, oh, this is how life should be. No, it shouldn't. This is why you're miserable.
You're right. And in fact, when you do go those times, and you're like, man, it should be like this. Like Southern California weather is Northern California is great. All of this stuff. But and sometimes I find myself wanting to resist going to these places for that very revelation that this is the way I should be living, because it'll always lose by comparison.
That's the thing. Like Northeast people, like you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that like little bit of anger. That's why people, are funny from these areas. Like it's like you're like you're molded by it. What do you like, Bane? Like like you're
exactly.
I was molded by the misery.
It's very true.
It is very true. I mean, that's why like you have so many comics from Philly, Boston, New York, and they're just like, you just have a different view on things. Not everything's rosy. Not everything's perfect.
I think Bane was from Boston, as I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think so too.
I have to bring this up because you are the charcuterie man. You are the charcuterie meister.
The board lord.
Excuse
the board
me.
lord.
The board lord. Right. You're referring to royalties, sir. The board lord.
Since the last time we talked to you, Preston has taken a quantum leap forward in charcuterie capabilities. Do you want to explain, Preston?
I found a recipe, and it's fantastic. It's an edible charcuterie board. I don't know if you've seen these or not.
This is awkward.
Okay. I'm sorry, board lord.
This is really awkward. I've seen it. I'm familiar with as the board lord. I'm familiar with all versions of charcuterie, and it's going to be a no from me, dog.
Wow.
Edible board. That's just a badly made pizza. Okay. You put a sampler platter on a pizza, Preston. I'd rather have and how long does it last? 10 minutes. It's hot for 10 minutes. Unless you've got Sterno cups, unless you're putting it on, a specifically made serving tray that just stays heated the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to people? What are you doing to people, Preston? You're at a party and now you're gonna rip it. Now I gotta listen to you talk about, oh yeah, we made it in the egg, and now I gotta act like I care about your stupid egg grill. This is the problem. We've gone off the rails.
Okay.
It's gotta be Preston's, big show where he's made an edible board. He's changed the game, and I got to go along with this. And all your friends at your party go, oh, whoa, how do you make this? They don't want to make that. Oh, whoa, I can dip into honey that's a bowl made into the bread.
You've seen
Get out of here, Preston. What do you think?
I'll admit.
You think I'm new to the game here? I've been in the board game too long. You were sitting back. I saw you got cocky for a second. You were sitting back in your chair. And board lord out.
I'll admit it's novelty. I will admit it's novelty. I will agree with you on that regard. I have not completely abandoned the traditional charcuterie, and I do put those together from time to time. But I thought it was a fun, nice change. But listen, I'm going to segue from that into a post that you had on Instagram, and I will agree with you in this regard. And it's similar to this argument that you're making with Bloody Marys. What you don't need to go crazy with this, and that's been happening on that.
So you found common ground on the Bloody Mary front, okay?
Yeah. But I agree with him on the charcuterie.
On the charcuterie,
board. The people are getting cutesy with it, and getting away from the purity of what it all is.
A charcuterie board, a meat and cheese platter, is about freedom. What Preston's doing is anti-American. Because Preston's board, you have to eat in the first 10 minutes of the party. Beyond that, it's garbage, it's trash, it's leftovers because it's cold. And what a charcuterie board is for people to go and when the other food ain't cutting it, or it's not enough, or you want some filler, you can go over there and dance around the board and get something in you. And that board, that's got a 10-minute shelf life. A badly made pizza. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't even know why.
I'll have to say, I'm not in your league. I am grasshopper to your Shaolin master. But I will say this: we had it in here. It held up pretty well for quite a while.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know now. Listen. It's true.
I don't have to go into work with this guy every day. I get it. Say some nice things.
Now, where do you
when people get into things like a dessert charcuterie board? By the way, charcuterie means meat and cheese, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what it
didn't
means?
know that.
Yeah.
It actually is defined as that. So now I think we're going off the rails in that regard.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
we've left the haze out of the barn, haze in the barn, whatever the saying is. It's bad. Yeah. It's really representative of a culture that is doing things for the like as opposed to the actual experience. This brings me back to the Bloody Mary. That Bloody Mary that I've had on my Instagram has a literal turkey on it.
Right.
It has a turkey on it. I'm not even exaggerating. It's a full turkey. So you have a mediocre Bloody Mary with a worse than mediocre turkey. Yeah. So a picture could be taken so that the people who built it can get more likes. So we're taking away substance for this weird currency that doesn't even exist. And you know what? We're all less happy for it. Okay. You can't even eat the turkey. The turkey's less than it should be. The Bloody Mary's less than it should be. Everyone online's looking at it going, I guess I missed out on the big Bloody Mary party. Right. Everyone's miserable. The happy index has been brought down a notch. And these people think it's for themselves. They're not doing it for us.
No, it's true.
I can go on and on. This is about capitalism. This is about society. This is about more than just the food.
Well, let me ask you, because you are a traditionalist, obviously, with the charcuterie board and with the Bloody Mary. Is there something in the culinary realm you would be considered a wild-eyed radical in your perception?
Okay. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on Preston and Steve. I'm Philadelphia, best food city in the country.
Wow.
And great food city that gets overlooked because the mascot for this city is like the disgusting fat jerk who's like, you gotta get a cheesesteak whiz wit. And it's like, so everyone's like, ew, get away from me, grossy.
Right.
And that person is in the way of like all the other fantastic restaurants because there's more space here. You can be a more inventive chef. You can do it for less money. The rent is less. No one's moving to New York. You just can't get in there.
Right.
Here, you got, Zahav, Badia. There's inventive things going on here.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you
nailing
nailed it
Jared.
off. Absolutely.
Yep, that's it. And the perception of the cheesesteak dude is overshadowing this the world-class food that's available here. You're right.
Nobody trusts the guy in gray sweatpants with stains on it with a Birds t-shirt who's yelling at you about how to order a cheesesteak. Like I look at that guy and I go, that guy only eats cheesesteaks every day of his life. So who cares?
I don't know. I always trust the fat person when it comes to when it comes to food.
Yeah, we
no,
were at
I'm
Disney
gonna
World
trust
one
the
time.
fat guy who knows how to dress and has a chef's coat on and did a bunch of years in culinary school. Like that guy. I don't need Silver Linings Playbook douche telling me how to eat.
Casey will track down someone who's overweight to ask where the best place to eat is. We were at Disney World and we wanted to find out where.
I'll pull people on the streets. Hey, fatty.
No, but Jared, listen to this. I mean, we found this diamond in Disney World. Press, if you want to relay the story.
You wanted to get some ice cream, a really good dessert, and you went up to somebody that looked like they've had a lot of desserts and asked, and sure enough, we found this place in the French section of Epcot, which had these, it was like a brioche stuffed with ice cream, put in a panini press. It was pretty damn magical.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone with weight problems themselves, I talk about my weight on stage all the time. I'm self-conscious. If someone came up to me and was like, hey, do you know where the desserts are here? Just randomly at Disney World. That would hurt me for a while. That would hit me. That would hit me right. I'd be like, I guess I'm leaving. I guess I'm not going to the pool today.
You know what though? So you with this, so I'm curious with this as well because you're passionate about this. I love the passion about the food realm. But you also know you're an expert on dating apps. You give relationship advice periodically. Could you yourself ever be with someone who, for example, embraced a baked charcuterie board?
It'd take a lot to get over. But we'd have to agree on why it was made. That's the thing. The charcuterie boards, the dessert one, all these extracurricular boards, I just need them to go, I need the psychology of it. Yeah. And I need awareness. And I need them to go, you're right. I did make this because I need attention. And maybe our relationship is in trouble and you're not giving me enough time. Like, it would be about that.
Right. I got you. That could be, that's one of those signs that people might miss in a relationship. What is your charcuterie status?
Yeah, this is all to say, Preston, are you okay?
All right. Good, brother. Oh my God. Have you been approached for endorsements of products that would lend themselves to this? To charcuterie?
Oh my God! This whole, I kid around. The board lord thing has opened up doors that I cannot. You go, I can't believe I'm being paid to put on a crown right now and push, Robert Mondavi. Because it's like and I enjoy it. I mean, like that's the thing. When I started comedy, and I know you had Alyssa on earlier.
Yes.
And so I was like selling life insurance and annuities, and I remember. I was like, I went to Penn State. I got a business degree from there and all that stuff. And I remember when I left my job, I was like, I just want to be funny for money. Like, I just want to make a living being funny. And I was like, and I, explained that to my parents who were like, what? Like my parents, like, what? You're funny? Like they didn't, what are you doing? And they,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, they were just, I was just like, I'll do whatever. And like, I just started always doing a bunch of stuff. And it's so funny because I saw you had Alyssa on earlier. I met her before she started.
Yeah,
it was the cool.
She had told us, she relayed this story to us. She's like, she came up to you post-show one day and was like, how did you leave that and start this? I want to do this, and got advice from you.
So I guess you're going to get it from the other side, how I felt in that moment. I remember that happening. And I remember she's from outside of Boston too. So I think I'm not anybody now, but I was more nobody then. So like, I remember it was like one of my first ever spots, like paid spots at Stand Up New York, a club in New York City. I'm so excited. This is it. Like, you're doing a paid spot, which is a big deal. You guys know that.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm like, I go on stage and it's like a hot Saturday night, and I do my spot and it goes okay. And I'm like, and I'm outside. Like, I remember Alyssa was like with her friends. It wasn't just her. Like, her friends were encouraged. She was like embarrassed to say, and I'm like, and I'm outside of the club, and like, these cute girls are coming up to me. I'm like, here it is. We made it. J-Train knocked him dead. And I'm like, you paid spot, New York City, killing it. I'm like a few years into comedy. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying my best to get on stage as much as possible. And I remember these women came up to me and they were so nice. And they're like, they don't even say good job. They're like, our friend is funny. And I'm like, oh. I'm just ruined right away. They're like, she wants to do comedy. How does she do it? How does she leave? And I remember you have that ping of like, oh, you come back to earth, you idiot. And then I tried to give whatever advice I could as far as I knew it to that day. And no, I'm so happy for her. I mean, her shows are going to be great. So everyone.
No, it's cool. And honestly, yeah. And she spoke highly. She said you were very informative during that. That is kind of funny though. When you start, and I did stand up for a bit, and your ability to meter where you are in the progression of your career is bad. You have I'm playing this club. I guess I'm this type of comedian, and you're like me. You're way off. It's
they
so
see
hard.
you in a different way than you see yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because we're all so hard on ourselves. You're like, I'm just, we're always thinking of the next thing. What do I don't have?
Right.
And they're looking at you going, they're on stage Saturday night, New York City. They must know how to leave their job in finance. And it's like, I don't know. Like it was a hard. And also I was selling life insurance. I was like I'm like the street. I'm retail. It's not like I left like Goldman Sachs. Like I was an idiot. C student at Penn State, and she's probably like killing it. And I'm like, yeah, just leave. Just
Oh my God.
I love that.
So like the whole thing, it is funny, and it's like now looking back, like I'm actually my cold board Lord heart is warmed by this whole thing. Like I'm so proud for her because I love all her videos and watching her get more and more successful. And I think of that moment, and I'm like. Thinking of like these cute women coming up to me and how like I was like immediately just bruised. Then you give whatever good advice you can give, and most of it is in. And this for stand up, it's a lot of the advice that you can give is really like diet and exercise. It's very boring,
right? What you end up saying eventually, and I found it. I've said to people, I've been doing this and doing comedy on the show for many years. I always say. Are they laughing? Yeah. Then it's working.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no real hard and fast rules.
Get on stage, tape the set, listen to the set, rewrite, get back on stage.
Yes.
Diet and exercise.
That's it.
And it's a long process, and you're gonna have very few wins, and you're gonna have a lot of losses. And it's like when you say that to someone, you can just see, you can watch. You stabbing their dream in the heart in their eyes. Like they want you to look at them and go, oh, I heard you're funny. Come on the road. And it's like, I don't even have the ability. I can't do that. I'm pumped about getting paid $25 at a New York City spot.
It's like you thinking you were going to get laid that night, man. It's just, it happens. It is.
Just like, my penis looks up to me like, nope, not today,
Jared.
Sorry.
Sorry, J-Train. We ain't going anywhere. All right, well, listen, Jared, we got to wrap, man, but thank you so much. You are one of our favorite guests. We love having you on, and we'll do it again sometime down the road, obviously. But in the meantime, Punchline tonight, 2 shows. Tomorrow night, 2 shows, 7:30, 9:45, and you get those tickets through punchlinephilly.com. Have a great time while you're here, man.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm a fan. I know I have a ton of friends listening right now, and they're like, you're beloved.
Oh,
so I love coming
awesome.
on here. And it is such a pleasure and really cool to talk to you guys and hang out. So
thanks so much, man.
The Board Lord, Jared Freid, guys. Excellent. I love it. All right, we're going to take a break because we're going to come back in a moment, and then we are going to have on Keith Yandle. He was actually Zooming for part of that. He was watching what was going on.
Cool.
But I think he had to do something real quick. He's going to come back from that. We're going to get him on the air, talk to him about his Ironman record that he broke with the NHL. We'll be back in a second. Stay put.
Preston and Steve.
I started saying it was Wee Man. Then we get to this hole that's sponsored by Hooters, because if you play in these charity golf tournaments, there's all the holes that are sponsored by different restaurants, corporations, whatever. So the hole is sponsored by Hooters. It's a bunch of girls. They're the Hooters girls. They have the wings and beer and stuff. And we walk up, and this Hooters waitress sees me and goes, "That's not Wee Man." Wow. And everyone, and I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm Wee Man. Because now this has gone down to 12, 14 holes. I can't just suddenly turn around. So I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I'm Wee Man. And she goes, no, that's not Wee Man. I had sex with Wee Man. Oh, God. You are not Wee Man. And I'm like, what? So I run up to her.
Oh, my God.
I grab her by the wrist, and I kind of explain to her the situation. And I'm like, hey, I know I'm not Wee Man. These guys are doing it for charity. Think I am. The freaking charity thought I was. So it's on them. This is not me trying to do this. Just play along. And then I peeled her off $40, because when you give $40 to a Hooters waitress, they'll do anything.
Did she immediately, was she receptive to it, or did you have to work her?
She immediately flipped around and was like, oh, okay, totally get it. And she's like, never mind, I was wrong, Wee Man. And I thought, kudos to her. Yeah. Because she's, first of all, she blatantly just yelled out in front of a group of strangers, I had sex with a midget. And then a few minutes later says that to the same strangers, I had sex with a midget and forgot which midget it was. So that's kudos to her.
Yeah, that's worth $40.
That's worth $40 just for that moment. But then,
oh my God,
here's the best part.
All right,
it's not done. Here's the best part. So now the problem is solved, and now the guys are all teeing off, and I go to the back and I kind of go to her and go, hey, so you had sex with Wee Man? And she goes, yeah, I had sex with Wee Man. And she goes, he came in the restaurant, he chatted me up, and it was good. I recognized him, and then we had a little fun. And then she goes, here, I'll show you a picture. And she busts out the picture, and she shows me the picture, and I look at the picture, and I go, that's my dwarf friend Sean.
Oh, yes! That's not Wee Man.
That's not Wee Man.
She did not have sex with Wee Man. She had sex with Sean.
I like Kevin Costner, so I'm sticking to it. You know what he's doing? He does the voice of the dog in The Art of Racing in the Rain, that new movie coming out.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. What's that about?
So it's one of these endless series of stories like a dog's purpose of dogs. I'm a sucker for all of them, but this is another. You're hearing the dog's thoughts. Right. And Milo Ventimiglia, and who is the girl from Mean Girls? I
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I love her to death.
Amanda Seyfried. Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
And so it's actually my wife's favorite book. But I kept seeing the commercial. I'm like, I know that voice. It's Kevin Costner.
Cool.
I would love to see what they're actually thinking.
Why don't you lick her butt? Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, you'd love to see what? It's about the dog thing?
Yeah.
All right, what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's the story of a dog and his thoughts. Lick her butt. Go ahead, lick it. You love it.
I lick mine. I love that.
Hey, where do you want to go for dinner, buddy? Doesn't matter. I eat frozen turds. So when are you going to lick her ass? Get off that.
Lick her butt already.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, buddy.
All right.
I love you, man. I know you're getting up there in years. Yeah. Did you lick her butt yet? Because that's really a lot of what dogs think about.
It's what they do. They love it. Yeah.
Hey, I just ate some tampons.
Oh, my God. Dude, we eventually... So
I know.
It's finally stopped in our house. We finally got a a trash can with a little closing lid on the top of it.
Right. They're predators.
For the bathroom.
If they're going to rip a rabbit to pieces in your yard,
yeah, exactly.
A tampon's like a buffet.
Oh, my cats can get into those trash cans.
Oh, really?
I have to put the heavy tissue box holder on top of the trash can with the lid.
No kidding. Okay.
Pets are so fun and
Aren't
cute.
they? Aren't they
They're
adorable?
eating your tampons.
Yeah, they rip animals apart in the backyard.
Buddy, is your paw hurt? Yeah, it doesn't feel too good. Did you lick her butt yet?
I have a question for you, Steve.
Lay it on me.
Should I get into the Bachelorette stuff here in a little bit, or we can?
We did it as a separate segment.
We can parse it out here if you want. All right, so Jed, pop the question.
All right.
We got the clip here.
Now, this is the dummy who is a up and coming musician, and to this point, the only thing he's sold is a dog food jingle.
Hey, that's an accomplishment. That's
it's not even a good dog food jingle.
I would love to see throughout the series when he's talking to the camera and saying, I'm really just looking to find someone that I can fall in love with and all this. And at the end of this going, well, I really did this for my career because I figured it would boost my visibility a little bit.
Right.
That's really what I was doing.
But if you're trying to paint yourself as sort of an emotional, in-touch singer-songwriter, and this is the way you treat this girl, it's not going to really work for you.
Oh, we have his jingle. Marissa just sent over his dog food jingle.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Rain or shine, kind of love like nothing you've seen before.
No. This is for dog food?
It's for dog food.
Okay.
And the dog is waiting.
The dog's what?
The dog's waiting for the master to come home.
Okay.
And it's a high-quality dog food.
Okay. Is the dog wearing something sexy?
Sexy, lingerie, yeah. And has a dildo in one paw.
Okay.
The dog really does deserve the best. So go pick him up some better balls.
And the thing, it's metaphor. Okay, so here's the deal. And his reason for doing the commercial is real, because this is the food that he's been eating at home himself, because the career's not going well. Man, I love this stuff. You put it on some bread, it's delicious.
And then the last birthday today, our favorite butthole, Hope Solo.
Hope Solo's butthole.
Hope Solo, the goaltender for the women's U.S. Soccer team. And then we found out there was a Twitter account called Hope Solo's Butthole because she had posted naked pictures of herself, and apparently you could see that particular part of her body, and somebody took upon that name, and we just thought it was funny.
Our favorite Twitter account. That and Bill Weston's hair.
Do you remember she had, there was some controversy of her being abusive, I think it was?
Yes, to an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
A family member too, right?
Yeah, something along those lines.
She beat the hell out of like a niece or nephew or something?
I've forgotten, but...
she was arrested in 2014, charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of assault and in the 4th degree.
Wow. Lest I remind you that her butthole has never been arrested.
Not once.
Yeah.
How old is she?
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We're going to have to arrest your butthole.
Why?
How do you cuff them?
Wait a second. I'm just collateral damage. I didn't do anything.
We're taking this butthole downtown.
Why does anybody talk to me about it?
This is not right. Get my lawyer. What, do you just expect me to pucker up and go along?
Right,
sorry,
Candy?
Mr. Butthole.
Oh, yeah.
Mister.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Hope Solo and her butthole.
You guys are just being wacky.
They both turned 38 today.
They're both 38. He's one of the co-creators of the band Mr. Big. He is one of the biggest, most badass guitarists in the world, in my humble opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program, Mr. Paul Gilbert. I want to explain to some people who may not know the name Paul Gilbert. You have a lot of fans. Most guitarists would know who you are.
Everybody who knows me knows me.
Yeah, exactly, right?
100% of those
But I've only had one. I was only famous for 2 weeks in 1992. So that's
So, Paul, when I do meet people and we're talking music, and I'll say, well, one of my favorite guitarists knows this guy, Paul Gilbert. If they're a guitarist, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Some people don't, and I have to explain. Okay, so, he was in this band, Mr. Big. Before that, there was this band called Racer X. You may or may not know. Metal, real intense, shredding, crazy, really technical, awesome music. But then I try to explain your solo career as well.
Good luck.
It's hard to quantify it, because There's elements of blues and jazz. And we're excited to have on, who we've had in the studio before, a gentleman by the name of Cal Ripken Jr.
Yes, we have.
Pretty cool, right? Pretty amazing record. We consider one of the unbeatable records in sports. But unless you're actually using that bat to hit the other players in the head, I think it's tough to compare to the record that our next guest
I have
has
to
on,
agree.
just because of the physicality of hockey. So we would like to welcome now the owner of the Iron Man record of the NHL, Philadelphia defenseman, Mr. Keith Yandle is on the program today. Keith, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Yo,
How you doing? Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure, man. So, first of all, as everybody's been saying to you this week, congratulations. That's a huge achievement. And one of the first things I want to ask is at one point in your career, you know how when they talk to people that are on a streak, don't mention it, don't say it, ignore it, and just kind of let it happen. When did you start to become aware that this might be a possibility in your career?
Honestly, it was kind of one of those things where I didn't really like talking about it. It's one of those things no one really likes talking about themselves anyway. So it's kind of, I just went along with it. It was, I'd say probably the last couple of years was
okay.
Maybe the last year or two where you're like, okay, I could maybe get this, but a lot of the times I didn't even know how many games I was at. It was one of those things I didn't look at where, it's just, I wanted to come to the rink every day and be available. And, I think obviously a lot of luck came into it too. So I'm obviously grateful that it happened. But it wasn't really one of those things I talked too much about.
Did someone bring it up to you, or were you just happening to, look at the calendar or look at the game count and make the conclusion yourself?
Well, I knew at some point, I think this year, over the summer, I knew if I played this year, at some point this year, I would have got it. And then Kevin Hayes, I know he had mentioned it a few times about, what day it was, stuff like that. But for me, it wasn't really anything I looked up or kind of researched on it. I just went about my business.
I wonder if you could just go, hey, shut up. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I would just try to change the conversation as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Keith, I believe that good things happen to good people, and you're known around the league as one of the good guys of the NHL. And I think that the streak is enormously impressive, but especially so over the last 2 years with everything that everybody on the planet has had to deal with. Did you take any different precautions than anybody else, just avoiding COVID? Giroux's been out and Provorov's been out, and it's racked the league. The games have been suspended. So how are you able to just stay healthy the whole time?
Yeah, it's actually, I've always been kind of a germaphobe where I've always washed my hands, tried to stay as on top of that stuff as possible. Obviously I think with everything that's going on, it was tough over the last couple of years, not being able to see family and friends and have people come in town. But at the end of the day, I think it was worth it. And obviously grateful that I didn't lose it to something like that.
As a germaphobe, when somebody gives you the stink glove, do you say "ooh, gross"?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just kind of give it back.
Yeah,
don't need this.
Throughout these years in your career, were there times where I'm sure you came close to not dressing or to just not being able to make the game at all. Were there a few close calls, or has it always been ready to go no matter what?
Yeah, no, there's been a bunch of close calls. A lot of time kind of game time decisions where it's, you don't know how you're going to feel the next day. If you get an injury and, game prior and you're feeling it, you just kind of wait to see till that next day. And I think for me, it happened a few times where I didn't know till right before the game whether I was going to be able to play or not. One happened here in Philly. We played in Boston the night before. I took a puck in the heel bone. I thought I just shattered like my whole foot. I couldn't even finish the game in Boston. And then we played the next day here in Philly, and the trainers there in Florida at the time, we were up till 3 a.m. They were working on my foot, trying to loosen it up, trying to get it activated. And, they were able to help me out where I was able to get it in the boot and be able to lace them up.
Is that a double-edged sword if, like, the team doctor knows you're going for this record and he says things like, well, you still have a few chambers left in your heart?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the biggest things was I took a puck in the face, lost, I think, 9 teeth, broke, like, the upper part of my jaw 2 years ago. And I came to the rink the next day, and Bobby Orr was at the rink, and he just said, I don't understand. He said, your malt's a long way from your legs, so you should be able to play. And I was like,
of course he did.
It's insane.
Bobby Orr is telling you that, you got to play.
Right? Oh, my God.
So, all right,
Jesus.
back into your younger years, were you a perfect attendance kind of kid at school?
I was, yeah. I always went to school. We didn't have it, like, my parents both worked, so they didn't want us staying home. So we went to school no matter what. And I loved going to school. It was more of a social hour for me. But I didn't like missing days of school. I think going to school was the best. You're hanging out with your friends. You're, doing everything. You get going to lunch, recess, everything. Obviously the tests and stuff like that aren't ideal, but everything else.
The actual school.
What's your family's reaction to this, Keith? Is it no surprise to them, or are they just excited?
I think it's surprising for everyone. I think just, as a kid, obviously no one expects to even play in the NHL. And then I think, my parents are so proud. They were able to come to the game in the island the other day. So having my friends and family there was amazing. A lot of them I haven't been able to see for a while. And it's, I think for them, it's, they play a huge role in it, and getting me to where I am now. And, they definitely deserve a lot of the credit.
So, Keith, I was watching the game on TV, and it was really cool to see it happen. And Steve had joked around a little bit before the streak was actually tied and then broken that it'd be really cool if you were actually Iron Man and had that outfit. But there was a kid, and I don't know if you knew him, but there was a booth, a suite, where people were cheering for you. They had a ton of Flyers gear on, and a kid put on an Iron Man mask. Do you know who that person was?
That was my nephew Trip. Yeah, my sister's oldest son, and he came. I actually saw him in the hotel lobby before the game, and he was all dressed up. He loves hockey. He loves the Flyers. It's so it was pretty cool to see him like that, and he was so excited for me as everyone else was.
That's awesome, man. It's tough that it did happen in the middle of a slump that's taking place right now, and I know that the most important thing to you and everybody else is to get back on the track to get some wins and focus more on that. Have you felt a little bit strange that this is happening at the same time where there's a negative with the team? I mean, it's got to be bittersweet.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of one of those things where if your team's not doing well, it's kind of hard to take positives out. And obviously you'd rather be winning and being on a 10-game winning streak and having everything feel good. But I think, like we've preached all year, it's just kind of on to the next game, and hopefully we can start a run and putting some wins together here tomorrow.
It's the weird thing is because obviously you want to win. It's just in life. It's a rare situation because now you have everyone stepping up with the solution, and it's like this is what you guys do for a living. You're going to put this together and you're going to get past it. But I guess part of the job involves you hearing from armchair pundits or everyone's giving you advice on how to get past it. And do you just keep the proverbial stiff upper lip and soldier on, or does it wear at you periodically?
Yeah, I think in hockey you have to have a mindset where we play so many games that after the game you think about it for a day or maybe two, and then you're on to the next game. Right. But obviously it's it's mentally draining when you're going through stuff like this. It's one of those things we'll do anything for a win, and obviously, guys, we're trying our hardest and we're playing hard, but just finding that win right now is tough.
Yeah, it's certainly a unique season. Last two seasons have been very, very unique. So everybody's doing what they can to get by. Well, listen, man, we just want to take a couple minutes, congratulate you, and just it's a hell of an accomplishment.
It is.
And it keeps on going.
Yes, it's not over.
I mean, it's not over. You keep playing. So,
and by the way, don't let Kessel catch you, because I know he's only like 25 games behind. So you got to keep going until Kessel retires at this point, right?
I feel like he's going to play another 10 years. Yeah.
You know, get him to sleep with a lot of cheap women if you can do that.
That'll probably fix it.
Phil's a good man.
Nice. All right, thanks, Keith, man. Have a great weekend. Congratulations. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, Keith Yandle, guys. The Iron Man. And to put some perspective on that, 965 games, 12 years, 4,688 total days, parts of 14 seasons. So
when he started, there was no Instagram, there was no Snapchat. I mean, like it started more than a decade ago, and he's still going strong.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I love it. All right, we are diving into the Bizarre File, so let's go ahead.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Is this our third one of the day?
This is the third Bizarre File of the day. It's part of the regular programming. No. All right, so listen to this, man. We were talking about cold and running earlier when we had Alyssa on earlier this morning. A marathon in Siberia may have smashed a Guinness World Record when runners braved temperatures of 63.4 degrees below zero.
Oh, man.
That is lethal.
Organizers of the Pole of Cold Marathon in Yakutia, Russia, say that the start time of the race was pushed up to the early morning of January 21st after weather forecasters predicted the temperature would dip to 76 degrees below zero.
Now they run from their homes to their cars, right? That's
in the afternoon. No, they do the full length, 26.2 miles. Guinness World Records currently lists the world's coldest marathon as 2001's Siberian Ice Marathon, where temperature was about 38 degrees below zero. This one was 63 degrees below zero. Huge difference.
So, I mean, medically, that's got to be massively risky.
How are we not hearing of fatalities from this? Russian.
Oh, they had scarves, Preston.
Russian runner Vasily Lukin won the Pole of Cold Marathon in 3 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow. Let's see. The Walla Walla County Sheriff's Office in Washington State says that an empty rail car was sent rolling on Tuesday afternoon. Employees were attempting to hook the car up to a train when it was bumped, and then it took off downhill to the west. Now, authorities from several different groups rushed to block intersections with the train tracks. The empty car was going 50 miles an hour.
Empty train car. Runaway train.
Yeah. And continued west. The sheriff's office says that the train finally slowed several miles from Walla Walla near the town of Touche before an employee got on board and applied the brake. There were no injuries, but it just went off on its own up to 50 miles an hour. Wow. A man who says that he is the world's most prolific sperm donor has claimed that he's fathered 129 children, but now medical experts have warned against his actions.
Why?
Clive Jones, who is 66, listen to this, Steve, has been donating his sperm from his van for nearly 10 years.
So he's able to make the shot every time?
And he has 9 more children on the way. And he never charges.
I started a few years ago, and I'm going for the record.
He never charges for his services, saying that the happiness it brings to families is enough.
Tell me about my father. Well, he kind of shot out of the back of...
He said, I'm probably the world's most prolific sperm donor, now being with 138 babies and 129 babies born.
That's wild.
9 ongoing pregnancies. He said, I might continue for another few years. Get to 150 anyway. He said, I know of clinics and sperm merchants with greater numbers, but they don't donate.
Are there sperm merchants?
But rather sell semen. He said, I think
I've got some fine sperm here.
People who would understand more if they saw the messages I get and the photos of the babies with very happy mothers. He said, I do it for free, though sometimes I ask for a bit of petrol.
Some petrol there.
It is illegal to charge, and it doesn't seem right to take money when I have more than them.
Oh, I'm looking at the data here, Preston. He wears jupe.
Clive is unable to be an official sperm donor because banks have an upper donor age limit of 45 years old. Instead, the former teacher links up with families on Facebook. And
it can go through the internet?
However, the Human Fertilization, no, he said it hooks up with them. The Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority have now issued a medical warning regarding Clive's activities. The rules state that all donors and patients should be treated at licensed UK clinics. And a spokeswoman for the authority said, as a regulator of UK fertility treatment and research, we don't have the power to stop people from making their own arrangements for sperm donation, but we do want to help them get the information in advance that they need to make the best informed choices, which is why we always encourage them to go to a licensed clinic.
Maybe this is a stupid question, but with having that many kids out there, people who are a result of your sperm, I assume the risk of accidental incest increases dramatically.
Exactly why they limit people from doing that. So Clive says that he contacts potential recipients through a sperm donor Facebook page and waits for them to get back to him. He says, I drive somewhere I'm not likely to be disturbed, and I go into the back of the van and I pull the curtains down. Then I take the cup and a syringe so the stuff can't come out, put a bag under my arm, and text them to say I'm outside and I'll be around in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Don't come a knocking.
And that's exactly what he does.
Sounds so romantic.
Doesn't it, though? All right, a mom roasted herself.
Roasted.
It's one of the reasons I brought this story up. After celebrating her son's birthday on the wrong date for years.
Oh, my God.
Yes. TikTok mom Emily Vondi faced a reckoning to settle an issue with an insurance company. The mother discovered that she had been making a terrible mistake. For some reason, she thought that her son's birthday was a day later than it actually was. But that wasn't even the worst part. She said, per my words, my son's birthday is the 26th. I'm his mother. I know his birthday. The insurance company says no, his birthday is the 25th. The pediatrician had called Vondi to set the record straight on the correct date, but Vondi was convinced that she had it right. She was going to contact her insurance company and give them a peace of her mind. However, before she did that, she went on Facebook to check her birth announcement to be sure, and sure enough, she was wrong.
But it wasn't like the kid was 23. It was younger, right?
But it was the wrong day. For 2 years, she said, I've been celebrating his birthday on the 26th. Now I have to call my pediatrician back and say, you know what? I have my kid's birthday wrong.
Roasted.
Yeah. One last story.
Yeah.
Super short one here. Frozen potatoes seem like they could be driving hazard. Driving hazard. On Thursday, the Minnesota Department of Transportation said a truck crashed in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 94 and spilled its load of potatoes on the road. Now, I don't always talk about these spilled truckloads.
No.
But these froze to the road.
Wow.
Minnesota DOT had special equipment brought to the scene because of the stuck frozen potatoes, and the road was closed to all traffic except emergency vehicles. Officials say no injuries were reported, and a cleanup was completed around 9:45 a.m., but they had to get the frozen potatoes.
There's a road froze potatoes.
Off the road. All right, that is the Bizarre File. Let us take a break. Come back in a second. Can I give away some beer?
Let's do it.
Caller number 13, going to give you a case of Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, 215-263 WMMR. It's first nationally available USDA certified organic beer with only 2.5 carbs, 85 calories, and clean, balanced finish. Let's get you on board. 215-263 WMMR. Number 13. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3
all this
WMMR.
What's a good way to describe your music?
Well, it's still evolving, and the discovery I made was that I really always wanted to be not a guitar player, but a lead singer. Because when I was a kid, those were the records I had. My parents had the Beatles records and Stones and bands that had lead vocalists. And I liked Led Zeppelin because Robert Plant had a great voice. Now, I didn't have a particularly great voice, and that didn't stop me from trying.
Right.
But it also didn't stop me from kind of, not doing as well as I would have liked to as a lead singer. So the discovery that I made on this new album, Behold Electric Guitar, is that I can actually play the vocal line on the guitar. So, take like a really challenging vocal, like, the hey, mama said the way you move, which, with my little falsetto is not so great.
Right.
But, you play it on guitar. And suddenly, those notes are there. And it's just, it's my responsibility to get them right, but at least I can hit them.
Well, I was mentioning to you the song Let That Battery Die, which is on the new album, and that is exactly what I thought. I'm like, it sounds like someone singing.
Yeah, well, that's how I wrote the tunes, was that I would have a lyric, and, the initial lyrics for that were like, what was it? My battery is low, but my mind is high. And, the again, I'm squeaking it out.
Yeah.
But with the guitar, I can get a lot of control and a nice tone. And so for the first time in my life, I'm actually able to connect my inner melodic generator with an instrument that functions.
Can you give us a little of the Rocky you were playing before, the Rocky theme?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
The YouTube thing you mentioned is amazing. You know, I grew up with albums, so I never expected to communicate with the world that way. And I do have to mention one. If you're in YouTube, there's one where I was doing a clinic and I had this little loop pedal, and I decided to put like the most scary, frightening shred lick that I could ever do inside the loop pedal. So I just pressed the button and it goes. And I would pretend to play with my teeth, and then I would press that button, and the whole audience was like, "Oh my God!" and so of course he's
playing with his teeth.
Yeah, he was playing sweep picking with his teeth. How did he do that? And it was a guitar clinic, so everybody raised their hands and goes like, "How did you do that with your teeth?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty impressive to do sweep picking with your teeth, but I said it's really impressive to do it with your ass."
Oh, yes.
And then I just wiped the guitar,
That's great.
on my backside.
Yeah.
And I'm still a fan of the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and the regular rock bands. And so now I can step on stage and really be the lead singer via my guitar.
Hey, I had a story that keys off of teachers, and I thought this was kind of interesting. This is out of, where is this? Somewhere in the South. I think it's in the...
is it Florida?
No, it's North Carolina. The teacher at Northeast Carolina Preparatory School in Tarboro, North Carolina, had apparently punished one of their students. By punish, I mean making them write a phrase over and over and over and over again.
A la Bart Simpson.
Because he called her ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, and she didn't like it, and so he had to write the word ma'am numerous times. His teacher asked him to write it. He told his mother that he had to return this with the parent's signature after he repeatedly called her the word despite being told not to do so.
Okay, well, if she told him not to, then...
Yeah, he completed his assignment during class hours, which made his mom worry that maybe it had interfered with some of schoolwork.
Yes.
According to the mom, Mrs. Wilson, the teacher also told the young boy that if she had something... she would have thrown it at him. I'm sorry, said to the boy. So if she would have had something, she would have thrown it at him. After the mom signed the paper, she had also had the boy write down the definition of ma'am, which is a term of respectful or polite address used for a woman, according to Oxford dictionaries. There's some people that hate being called ma'am, and
I hate it.
My wife uses ma'am as a sign of respect when she's on the phone with someone asking for help.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
It is, and especially as you start to go south, you're going to find it is a term. It is a respectful way to refer to people.
Yeah.
I would it's a weird thing, and I know, Preston, you're right. Ma'am to set someone off?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've always known it as a respectful way to refer to someone.
Maybe she's younger and she doesn't want to feel old.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I see it as an older woman. So when somebody, I remember the first time he was a kid, probably a high school kid, called me ma'am, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I didn't tell him, don't call me that, but it made me feel old.
It's not.
Did he just say ma'am?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I never.
Was it the word that set the teacher off, or was it the fact that the kid was repeating it over and over?
I don't know.
Well, it had to be the initial thing graded on her because she asked him to stop saying it.
Yeah.
But if he's used to saying it as a sign of respect to, like somebody in an authoritative manner, like then you just got to get that flag out of your butt and get over it, right, Press?
I would think so. Yeah, get the flag out of your butt.
Yeah.
Did I say that one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was walking, I was hiking around the area, maybe on Friday, said hello to this young feller, probably 13 or 14. How are you? How's it going? Very well, sir. I'm like,
It's a title. It's a title.
We're not this kid walking along, that you come with me. I want to show other people what you just did because it was so good.
It's a title you've earned.
I earned it.
Hey, here's a text that says, women should know better than to call other women ma'am. I joke that they're traitors. And then performing Saturday, March 12th at the Met. All right, so the question I have for you this morning is, who sang the classic song, He's Got Love Stuck in His Throat? 215-263-WMMR. Call if you know the answer. Who sang the classic song, He's Got Love Stuck in His Throat? 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know the answer to that.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
And this morning, it is brought to you by WMMR and the Preston and Steve logo winter hats. All right, another cool item in the MMR Rock Shop. So there's both WMMR and Preston and Steve logo hats. You just pick one up today for you, for as a gift for somebody. Go to WMMR.com and use the keyword shop. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Kim Kardashian embarrassed herself during an interview, admitting that the subtle smell of gardenia and jasmine makes her, quote, really horny. When asked what new boyfriend Pete Davidson smells like, Kim coyly smiled and responded, piss.
Oh, my God.
Actress Sydney Sweeney saying her nude scenes in the HBO series Euphoria have distracted people from taking her seriously. However, a quick perusal of comments from her fans on social media, almost all of them make reference to her serious jugs.
Yeah.
And finally, Kanye West making a big announcement yesterday that his follow-up to the hit album Donda will be released very soon. West says the new album will be a direct continuation of Donda and is titled Donda 2 Electric Dondaloo. That's your Hollywood Trash.
We will go to the phones. We will look for an answer to this question. Who sang the classic, He's Got Love Stuck in His Throat? 215-263-WMMR. And Joe is our caller who's going to give us an answer. Hey, Joe, good morning.
How you doing, fellas?
Awesome, buddy. All right, Joe, who sang the classic, He's Got Love Stuck in His Throat?
That was the recently departed Meatloaf.
You are 1 second, Joe. You got yourself a pair of tickets to see George Lopez Saturday, March 12th at the Met in Philadelphia. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. I just realized part of the reason why I'm messing stuff up when I'm reading so much is this morning before we started the show, right when I was coming into the studio, I have a mask I'm not used to that I'm wearing now, and I put it on, and I pulled it away from my mouth for a second and let it go, and so the elastic snapped.
Oh, no.
It went straight up, and the mask went in both of my eyeballs.
Oh, no.
And it's got like an edge on it, and they both like slammed it directly onto my eyeball.
You got a Three Stooges. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Did you scream?
What's that?
Did you scream?
Casey saw me coming in.
Yeah,
I was like,
crying.
I was like, yeah, my eyes were watering like crazy. My nose was running. And all morning long, I've been having a hard time focusing on.
That sucks.
I know. I don't want to go into the weekend like this.
With the snowstorm coming, you're going to be useless.
So I keep seeing letters that are other
Not
things
there?
that are not there.
You see loved ones who have departed?
No, I haven't gotten that far. That'd be pretty amazing. If
You just
that
need
were the case.
a quick drive down the shore and back. You'll be fine.
That's all I need.
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think you should drive anywhere. You should go right home. And
Yes.
I think you should
Relax.
stay here
I
for the
think
weekend.
I am going to do that. I maybe I will stay here for the weekend. Has Jackie got an area I can
You've got a bed in the office?
curl up to?
I saw Jackie this morning. I got here, and I was getting off the elevator, and he was getting on to leave to depart. And it's just like, it was such a nice ray of sunshine watching him leave. He's so fired up.
What, midnight?
Yes, and he's preparing for tonight for the Friday night show. And it was just, he's excited at 5 a.m. for his Friday night show. It was really cool.
I saw him this morning too, and he's like, I played Casey's War on Drugs interview.
Yeah.
He was all excited about it. I'm like, you played the whole thing? He's like, well, like a minute and a half of it.
Yeah.
He's like, screw that on the website stuff. I put that on the radio. I was like, yes, brother.
Yeah, he called me last night and made sure I was listening when he did it. And I was. I listened. And
That's
then
cool.
And then he called me this morning to tell me that he played it. And I was like, yeah, we talked last night.
It's the best.
Told me that he talked to
He's
you,
fantastic.
Nick. He told me that he talked to you, Preston.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice conversation.
I love it. All right. Music news time. Here we go.
Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
I rip ass.
By the way, Casey's interview is at WMMR.com.
Yes,
So
it is.
With the War on Drugs frontman, Adam Grandacil.
Yep.
A nice interview, right?
It was. And so they performed at the Met last night. They have another show at the Met tonight.
Cool.
So, if you're interested, head on over there. Try and buy some tickets at livenation.com.
All right. All right, I have a handful of stories to go to. We'll begin with this one. Although the days of crazy post-show parties was in the past anyway, Slash has revealed that Guns N' Roses' COVID protocols on the road only strengthened the band's musical connection. He said on stage it was incredible. The audience had this crazy energy. The effect on the group as a whole was super positive. And he said no after parties, no record execs, no celebrations. And frankly, it showed on stage. He said the crisis restored our communal passion for music. And we've never enjoyed playing music so much. He went on to talk about the touring party's safety regimen. He said all of our entourage wore masks. There was never any contact with the outside world. No one was invited to the concerts. There were no after parties. We would go straight from the hotel to the venue, back to the hotel until it was time to travel to the next town. And if you told me in the 80s that I would not have believed you. I think it was a little glimpse of what's to come. And I think we're going to have to live with the virus and adapt to it. But they found that toning it down a little afterwards and just focusing specifically on the shows.
Virus or no virus, it can't be good to just to like tear it up every night after a show, right?
Made it more
Takes
special.
Its toll, yeah.
Well, I think they're sober now.
Yeah.
But still, even just not hanging out all night
Yeah.
and doing that. So
Get back to the hotel and watch porn.
There you go. Well, silence the trombones and saxophones. The mighty, mighty Boss Tones are no more. It's
one of my wife's favorite bands.
I thought they broke up years ago, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
But they announced on Facebook that they were breaking up this week. The news arrived despite reports.
So you're not all that upset then.
Oh, I don't care. No.
Since you knew that they were, or you thought they were broken.
I thought they were broken up. Despite reported plans for the band to play at Slam Dunk Festival this June. As to the reason for the breakup, the band didn't really give any beyond saying we have decided to no longer continue on
Going in a different direction.
as a band, and they also sweetly thanked their fans for years of support. So they're done. Let's see. It was 53 years ago on Sunday that the Beatles performed for the last time in public on the roof of the Apple headquarters building in London. For the better part of that January, the group had been filming the rehearsals for a planned comeback concert before band politics forced him to abort the plan and concentrate on recording a new album tentatively titled Get Back. Now available for global streaming is a complete audio for the Beatles' legendary rooftop performance. The sound has been mixed in stereo and Dolby Atmos by Giles Martin and Sam O'Kell. Coming to select IMAX theaters for one day only on Sunday is the Beatles' Get Back rooftop concert. The 60-minute presentation, which takes place on the 53rd anniversary of the Fab Four's final performance on the rooftop of the Apple headquarters, will also feature a Q&A portion with director Peter Jackson via satellite. The concert will go on to see a global theatrical release from February 11th to February 13th. Beatles Get Back, which also features the group's entire rooftop performance, premiered on Disney Plus over 3 nights in November and will be released on DVD and Blu-ray February 8th. So that's pretty cool. And I had a little extra room in music news, so I wanted to bring this up because Edie Brickell is not really an artist that we play, but
It used to be an alt darling for a brief period, right?
Yeah, and in the 1980s,
Right, yeah.
is when she hit with the New Bohemians. But this is kind of interesting, and she's married to Paul Simon.
Yes, right.
Edie Brickell has penned 38 Minutes, which is a new musical about her personal experience living through the 2018 false alarm nuclear missile alert in Hawaii.
Whoa.
Remember this?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was terrifying.
It
for
sure
people.
was.
So the title is reference to the length of time between when the state's residents were advised to seek shelter and the moment when officials finally announced that a miscommunication during a drill at the Highway Emergency Management Agency had triggered the terrifying warning. 38 Minutes will receive a workshop this February in Los Angeles following a successful 2019 reading. The workshop cast will be led by Tony nominee Carmen Cusack, who starred in Bright Star, the 2016 Broadway musical that Brickell had written with Steve Martin. The workshop is directed by Josh Rhodes, music supervised by Rob Bremen, and executive produced by Lisa Dozier. The show focuses on a family vacationing in Hawaii when the alert turns their lives upside down and inside out, revealing more about each other than they'd previously known.
That's pretty wild.
They thought they were going to die.
I remember that whole story was crazy. I did a bit about it. I remember we aired it, and it was just a weird, and it was just a mistake, right? Like an automatic switch had gone or something like that. But everyone for that half hour plus thought North Korean missiles were in the air.
Yep, they thought they were on the way.
Yeah.
They were headed to their location.
Terrible.
Bend over and kiss your ass
Kiss
goodbye.
your pineapple goodbye.
Pretty much it, man. That would have been. I'm surprised. I'm curious if any people had heart attacks or died.
Yeah, I'm sure there were, and
You know?
I'm sure there are lawsuits pending.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, still to this day.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so I thought that was interesting, and
That is.
therefore I put it in music news. All right, we have one final break to take. We're going to do that now. When we get back, we wrap up this show. We give away our Word of the Week prize, and we move out of the way for a radio legend.
Yes.
Be right back. Stay with us, friends.
I'm coming.
Yes, right. It's well known that most women don't like it. What do you mean? How do you know that?
Because of that extensive survey she took.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe amongst a handful of your friends or something. But what do you mean most
Yeah,
women?
but I would agree with that.
But how do you know most women?
Because anybody, just anyone that I know, it's not like I took a survey, but anyone I know would agree.
Then it's got to be everyone.
Yeah, and it's regional. You know what I mean? It's
I can see that.
In the South, yes, they that they're here, not as much.
But I've born and bred, you know, Northeast, and man, to me, was always a sign of respect. And I would say, man,
Or maybe is it an older thing? Like
I don't know.
I don't know. I just
you keep going back to old.
No,
These
the
old
standard thing
people.
would be pretty good, ma'am. Wouldst thou takest me?
But here's the deal. I think it's all about intent. And if you hear someone saying it as clearly as a sign of respect,
Yes.
you should understand that they're just being polite.
Yes, of course. I'm not going to get mad at them, but it doesn't make me like it. It's still
right.
I still think it's.
Don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh my gosh, darn bit. Working on my activities list.
Oh God.
No, I listen, and if it rings to your ear and you don't like it, you can simply say, "Oh, it's okay. You don't have to call me ma'am, or I'll punch you in the throat."
Yeah.
I don't. I would never read it as as an insulting thing. That's a way to show respect.
It's your own fault for being old. Jesus Christ.
No,
What's
it's
with
not
you and that aging thing?
It's not insulting. It's just we just don't like it.
And that's but all right, it's your personal
I don't think
preference.
somebody saying it to me is insulting me.
All right, but what
But
do
I
you
just
want
don't
your
like
server?
it.
What do you want your waiter or waitress to call you when they go up?
Sugar teas.
Yeah.
Young lady, maybe.
Young. Sorry, I'm
lady.
Oh my God, she has to see my ID.
Now we're living in a fantasy.
Now you're getting into pandering territory.
I haven't been underage for 38 years.
Wait, let me tell you something that happened on Saturday. I have to tell you this. So I went out for Preston. I went out for my birthday, and we went into the bar, and they were carding everyone. And me, I was with Elisa. You know, we're both 40, and she goes, "Oh, let's see if we get carded." So we walk up to him, we stand there, and he goes, "Hi." And so we were like, "Do you want to see our ID?" He goes, "Sure, if you want to hand it to me."
See, he did. I want to see what you think of this, Kathy. Kim Kardashian, Chrissy Teigen, Queer Eye's Tan France, and trans model Andreja Pajic are sporting some eye-catching new accessories. It's all in the name of Simon Huck's conceptual art experience called A Human, and it's already roiling social media. So Kim has a glowing necklace, and it looks like it's implanted in her skin.
But Preston, okay, and I wanted to ask you about this. It's clearly not an implant.
Right.
It is a flesh-colored thing made to look like an implant.
And it lights up, Kathy.
That freaks me out.
But you got to
Oh, it gets worse.
Marissa, see if you can find. She's on social media, and there's a comment. She says it's going to my heart. And just her, and she looks like an android, dude.
To begin with,
I
know it's so.
Preston.
It's such a shame.
She's got the lips like.
Yes. Yeah, full on.
Let me see.
Full on constructed duck lips, so she doesn't have to make the pout anymore.